going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here, and it's going to log me in. And as you can see, this is our homepage. Click on creators right here, and this shows you all the CTN family members that are content creators. Everybody is on here. If you want to go to one of their YouTube channels, for example, if you want to go to Crypto Talk Now, just click on channel, and it takes you right over to the YouTube channel for that particular creator. And you click on community. This is our community right here. We do have a forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another. And there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators' live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on call now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up, Gills33, Miguel. All these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
So it's come to our attention that about 90% of you on YouTube have not yet learned how to smash the like button. So today, we're going to learn. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. And that is how you smash the like button. Hit the like button. What did I say?
Hit the like button.
Exactly. Don't forget it.
All right, sorry about that. Jeez. Thank you, Mike. Sorry you're not feeling good, Mike. I was literally saying that you're not feeling good, and I hope you feel better. All right, thank you. He has the red phone. He has the Batman signal, where you want to call it, the bat phone. But I was just saying, sorry about being so zoomed in. I don't know why it's doing that. But I'll get sorted out some other time. And I have a lot to share anyway. It's not going to be focused on my face. But yeah, smash that like button. Let's go ahead and welcome a few guys. Thank you for being here. Let's start off with the one and only JC the man. Thank you so much for being here. JC, he says hi. Tim Shea, who says hey, hello to Tim Shea. Mr. Mike, thank you for being here. Craig Connor, you did not know the Duke was into crypto. I got an announcement in regards to that. So you guys are gonna find out why that's in the thumbnail. Brittany, thanks for being here. But yeah, Craig, you as well. Thank you for being here. Brittany, Tim, GS, Michael Montclair. Glad to have you guys here today. We have quite a bit to cover. Everything you see tagged will have coverage. I want to welcome, I don't see him in the comments, but I want to welcome Edward Vincent, aka Squidward, and Coochie Boy. Thanks for being here, Coochie Boy. Mr. Brian Dowie, glad to have you here, Mr. Brian Dowie. Let me see where we're at on some of these comments. And who else we got up in this mug? All right, Elon Musk says, looks like Jasmy is coming out of his bottom. Could be. Michael Montclair, hey guys, Open Secrets film I'm co-starring in, getting on some networks. God is good. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to you, Michael Montclair. That's great news. Right on, man. Cool stuff. I want to welcome Mr. Stargazer as well. He says hi all with his pink hand waving. Oh, it's a sticker. Yeah, that's right. The sticky. Smiley. What do you want to call it? I want to welcome Rafael Santos. He's back. He says, good day to all you guys. Glad to have you here. Rafael Santos. Let me see what's going on with this thing real quick. Maybe I can zoom in. That's okay. I think that fixed it. Yeah, all I have to do is downgrade it and upgrade it back. So I fixed it. So I know how to do that now. That's cool. Instead of just being like all up in your mug, right? All right. River, thank you for being here. Also, Rafael Santos, thank you again for being here. It's going to scroll further down into the comments. Thank you, Mr. Larry. Yep, your dad called the bat signal. All right. I want to welcome Mr. Boomer Effing Sooner. Thank you for being here, Boomer. And Henry Brown to $5 super chat. He says, yeah, Dog Pound Gangsta Max, the Fed Reserve, having fun. They got us in a nugget like we Phoenix Suns. We getting outshine. LOL, smash the like button. I thought you were going to do a rhyme. Like with so much drama in the CTN or something, or the DPG. I don't know. But thank you, Mr. Henry Brown, for $5 super chat. We'll kick into the news here in a bit. I did get the whole thing situated with the mic. $2 super chat from Henry Brown says, happy birthday to Boomer Effin' Sooner. My goodness, the Boomer Effin' Sooner. It's your birthday. Let me try to remember how old you may be. I'm going to go with 53. I'm just going to take a guess because I think you mentioned you're 52, but maybe wrong. But nonetheless, I hope you're having a great day, Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooner. Thank you for being a longtime supporter of CTN. And I hope that you're having a good time on your birthday. You had a good meal. Maybe you had a steak or something. I don't know. But hopefully it was a special day. And you know what? It's pretty cool that you decided to join us here at CTN for some of it. So cool stuff. All right, let's get some of the banners up. I also want to welcome Mr. Cool Cat Crypto. Thank you for coming back, Mr. Triple C. Stargazer, thank you again for being here. I want to welcome the one and only Crypto Jedi. I did get let me see the stats on that real quick. You're probably wondering, how did that work out from yesterday? So I thought I would share that. So let's share this real quick. On your stats from yesterday, this is the reply section, I believe. Yeah. All right. Let's see how this went. So I gotta scroll down to this. I'm almost there. All right. Here's the stats. So, hey everyone, check out this amazing Jasmy video with the best Yoda impersonation ever. Let me fix that real quick on the microphone. I have ever heard. And this got 16 retweets, 26 likes, 1,179 views. So cool stuff, man. All right. I'll welcome a few more people. Big watch dudes in the house. Yo, what's up, Max and CTN fam? What's up to the big watch dude? Even though I'm not wearing a watch right now. But glad to have you, watch dude. And thanks, Max. I'll send a link when you get it. That'd be cool. Very cool. All right. Henry Brown again. Super stat Michael Montclair 007. James Bond shaken, not stirred. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. William Bowe, Arc Block or the rope? I'm sure some of you guys are the old school guys, right? So do you remember an old commercial? He goes, you know, I'm sure I mentioned to some of you guys before, some of you guys, right? You know, this here sauce is made in New York City. New York City? Get a rope. Is that what's going to happen with Arc Block? I just remember those commercials from like the 80s. New York City? Get a rope. All right. Some of you guys, you don't remember that, but that's all right. I'm sure Boomer remembers that. And some, you know, like also Mr. Muff probably remembers that as well. Dingy, welcome. He says, yo, G. Calvin in the house with the T6 glider. If crypto doesn't work out for Caroline, porn. Oh, God. P-Hub. I gotta be careful with that because we can get flagged for that. So just giving you a heads up. You didn't know that? That's okay. I got to be careful when I read some of that. We'll welcome her for sure. Okay. Sorry, YouTube. Please do not give us another stupid, flag because they already have. And it's so stupid. That's why people jump to Rumble. That's all right. You didn't know. But now you know. And no one's half the battle. All right. Gonna welcome April Cornwell. Hopefully you're doing a great job. I'm sure you are. Taking care of your hubby on his sick day. Arc Block is a lock. All right. All right. Let's see if there's anything specific. All right. There isn't. I'm going to kick it into what we have on our coverage. Old commercials. Where's the beef? Hey, yeah, exactly. You're right about that. Where's the beef? All that stuff. Juicy fruit gum with the water skiers. Hey, Max, what happened to Cypherium? I dumped my bag. I don't know what's going on with Cypherium, but I will do the crazy thing. And that is basically if it crashes to a penny or under, I will pick up at least one more bag because I'm just weird like that. I want to welcome back a guy from Twitch yet again. Very cool. Belly Jean, welcome back with the jelly beans. Definitely remember you from the other day. See, this is why I encourage people to always change their avatar. Something speaks more about who they are and what they're about. Helps us remember who you are. So, guys, let's welcome back Belly Jean from Twitch. After 5 minutes in F-bombs, are we supposed to be okay? But whatever. In F-bombs, what happened? I don't know what happened, Tim. So, after 5 minutes in F-bombs are supposed to be okay, but whatever. I don't know what happened with that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and, what's this? Just real quick. This. Oh, yes, Max, I'm taking care of his sick old muff daddy over here. He's in good hands. My God. All right. We just started the show, Billy Jean. So you're in time. We're going to kick it into what we have. So, for instance, some of you guys saw the crazy, something I do for Fridays, right? I call it Friday Surprise, So for one, you saw, Lauren Hill on the left. You saw the Duke, John Wayne on the right. Maybe thinking, well, what's that all about? Like they have nothing to do with crypto. Well, I do teach history, and I just want to point out a couple things I noticed today on this interesting day. Okay. And basically, I'm going to highlight this for just a brief moment. So on this day, what's going on this day? So basically speaking, there was two big announcements. This comes, of course, from Britannica. Lauryn Hill, it's her birthday, right? You know, I grew up listening to the Fugees, not the Bee Gees, well, them too, but the Fugees, right? I was a huge fan of the Fugees. The Score, great album. Too bad they have their differences. Lauryn Hill had a great album, multi-platinum with the Miseducation, Lauryn Hill. It's her birthday today. On top of that, the late, great John Wayne was born today, May 26th. 1907, the Duke's birthday. And on top of that, there's some more info. The Ford Motor Company ended production of its famed Model T, which helped democratize the automobile. We're always talking about data democratization. You know, it's like this, of course, with Ford Model T. My grandpa had a Ford Model T because he was old enough to be my great-grandfather. I heard some crazy stories, but, you know, this topic of democratization and so on, right? It's like, is Jasmy really going to lead the way going forward when it comes to data democratization? I think so. I think we'll definitely see that. So before we can get into some of the Jasmy coverage and so on, I want to jump into what we have for the breaking news. So smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's talk about some of the breaking news here in a bit. And, you know, it's worth noting, right, to say the least. So let me pull up something for you guys. And, yeah, it's something that maybe will cheer Mr. Elon Musk up, even though it's, I don't know, it's kind of debatable. Here we go. All right, got some breaking news for you guys from the one and only Mr. Elon Musk, Crypto Talk Now sideline reporter. Let's get into this here in just a moment. So, you know, he posted this on crypto Twitter. I thought I would share it with you guys. So here it is. And just like you see on the title, he did tag me. And basically speaking, this could be super bullish for crypto. So if you want to catch up on this, here's the headline. China offers Russia to stop the war and keep what it already occupied, basically in Ukraine. Comes straight from the Wall Street Journal. I saw XXI Gaming. He, you know, basically posted this as well. Hold on a second. I'm getting interrupted. All right, sorry about the interruption. Let me just share this again. Oh, man. Something about when you get interrupted, it messes up the whole flow. All right, so here it is. Let's show this real quick. And China peace solution for Ukraine. I don't know how seriously we want to take this, but I don't know. I want to get something from the Wall Street Journal. But yeah, some people are saying, let's see, the United States offers China to stop the conflict and respect what is already belongs to Taiwan. I don't know. Let's see. Let's play this. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it's not. Boy. Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, we'll try to pull up the Wall Street Journal one about this. Excuse me on that. All right, let's see if this will pull up real quick. There it is. 2 days ago. So here's the actual one from the Wall Street Journal. Let's go ahead and share this with you guys. And of course, they're going to pull this on me. All right, never mind. Boy, what a monumental fail that was. Unbelievable. Let me see. Yep, not going to be able to share any of that. That's just great. Thank you, Wall Street Journal. All right, we're going to jump into the next part. What we have. Sorry about that. Let's jump into the Jasmy coverage. But before we do so, we'll kick it back in the comments just to have a nice balance. I'm going to try to pull up this timer that I have real quick. 5-minute timer. Google. There we go. All right. So I saw a few more people came in. I do appreciate you guys being here. Glad you guys telling Mr. Elon Musk to get better. Wow. All right. April Cornwall says, Lauren, see, I thought it was Macy Gray. No, there's a big difference between Macy Gray and Lauryn Hill for sure. Yeah, I love Lauryn Hill as well. I mean, her music at least. All right. Want to welcome Mr. Cash Cats. He says, Sup Max, the CTN fam. Boomer says, John Wayne, the GOAT. All right. Glad to have you here, though, Mr. Cash Cats. Your show sure's muff up. Oh, God. All right. Thanks. I'm glad. Stevie Nicks and Lenny Kravitz's birthday as well. Oh, okay. Oh, they didn't mention that. They should have mentioned that. But you mentioned it, so that's good. Magic Powers in the house. Hello, guten Tag, Liechtenstein Exchange. Jasmy in the house. Thank you for being here. Don't shake Putin's hand. Yeah, that's a good point. He might have something there. All right. GS says 2-bit had me laugh earlier, talking as if he was Tim. Huh. Interesting. All right. I want to welcome back Mr. Aussie Life. Appreciate your support and all the Jasmy info you hook us up with. Thank you for being here. All right. GT, welcome. Consider changing your avatar. Something speaks more about you, who you are, what you're about. But guys, let's give GT the warm welcome. Let's kick it actually into some of the Jasmy news. So smash a like if you haven't done so already. I see that we're currently at, let's see, 23 likes, 36 people watching the show. So we could get a few more people hitting that like. It does help get the show out to a broader base. All right. So we're going to basically get into some of this Jasmy coverage. I do have a deep dive I'm going to do still. I was going to do it last night. Didn't have a chance to do so, unfortunately. But I'm going to do a deep dive for Jasmy. And I'm going to confirm some things that was speculative. That's the only teaser I'm going to give you guys right now. It will smash all the speculation and give you confirmation. All right. So this is from Yanoslav Iliev. Good guy, right? He's the one that started that whole petition for Jasmy to get out of the innovation zone on Binance. And, you know, he's just a great community member, to say the least. So I saw that he shared this earlier today, and I wanted to share this with you guys as well. So it states, Jasmy online store, if you were not aware about this, has gone live. Now with 3 available options for purchasing Jasmy Secure PC. Now, is this, you know, for instance, Jasmy Secure PC English version? I haven't had a chance to verify that. But, you know, this does come from jasmy.co.jp. Let's blow this up. And if anything, I'll try to blow up just a tad bit more for you guys. So here it is. And this is kind of cool that, you know, this is at least showcased. One of the gripes was that some people have posted, you know, why does it have a typo there? You know, and I would agree with that. You know, I saw Jasmine Pirate, he mentioned the same thing. You know, we get the whole thing that, you know, in Japan, they consistently like misspell things, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Some people point that out. Okay, I get that. But on, you know, Jasmine Pirate brings up a good thing to mention, and that is on the international front. I mean, if we want people to take this a little more serious, we got to get things listed the right way, you know, and spelling. Let's face it. I mean, we're not trying to be grammar Nazis, you know, trying to pull a Rudolf Hess on Japan or anything. But come on, you know, get with the picture, recognize typos, or have somebody that is from, for instance, maybe not necessarily Japan, but, you know, can do the work for you. All right. So anyway, you know, got to point out the good things and also the bad. So there is that. And I do like the idea that you see it being available and so on. Kind of weird that it's not not sold to Okinawa or remote islands because airmail is not available, but teach his own. So I imagine this is just strictly Japan. So that does answer the question in regards to this going internationally yet, right? So, Jasmy Secure PC English version, obviously that's not a thing yet, but at least this is available like it shows, on here. So I'll keep that up there for just a brief moment. All right. And let's just jump into a little bit more of what we have in regards to the Jasmy coverage. So give me just a second on that. Other people obviously point this out. For instance, this guy says Jasmy warming up for takeoff. This guy basically states, he wonders why it doesn't write VAIO with Jasmy Secure PC, but Jamie, did they make a typo? I mean, immediately people are going to point this out. Yaroslav said just a typo for sure. It's still not officially launched. Here's a little bit of what he's talking about. Some of these pictures. This guy responds back. He says that's what I thought because there is no typo error on the products for sale. I'm sure they'll fix it before the official announcement. So I mean, at least it's not. I guess you could say the official one, but still, come on. You're gonna display this? Get it fixed. All right, a little bit more in regards to Jasmy. I want to show you guys this. This comes from Icy Amphibian. A lot of you guys do follow him. He's very active. He does a lot of work, for instance, with, Dip Metaverse. All right. So there's this. It says Jasmy G7 Summit, DFFT. And we talk about DFFT quite often here at CTN. I've done a few deep dives. I think I've done about maybe 2 or 3 in regards to the importance of DFFT, which is data free flow with trust. So it says in the first session, Japan focused on technology that Jasmy has been developing. Jasmy is best suited to handle a new globally regulated data market. They are promoting the concept of data free flow with trust. Generative AI creates new data from data inputs. Most people stop when they think of ChatGPT. True, but the concept applies to Jasmy AI engine, which creates new platinum data from metadata inputs. So, I mean, everything that you're seeing that's happened and mentioned from the past is coming to fruition here in the recent, and especially with data free flow with trust. Jasmy participation in NCCC also supports the goal of a cleaner energy economy. No, they're not referring to the National Cool Cat Crypto Association, which would be kind of cool if they did. All right. So here's a key highlight. It says towards transition to clean energy economy, reduction of dependency on specific countries, and making of reliable supply chains. Ministers in charge discuss generative AI as Hiroshima AI process and have them report the results before the end of this year. It is reported that G7 leaders called for the formulation of guardrails. Think about that for a second. So we always talk about, I should say always talk about, but it's been brought up in regards to Smart Guardian, right? When it comes to Jasmy. Then you have this mentioned, the formulation of guardrails. There's Jasmy references. Japan asked for G7's cooperation toward the early establishment of an international framework based on an agreement at the ministerial level to materialize data free flow with trust. Now, if you're wondering about who's the guy leading the charge for this framework, well, it's definitely Mr. Tara Kono. Okay. And you guys, if you've seen the previous deep dive video, at the beginning of that deep dive, you see a couple interviews with Tara Kono. He's literally leading the charge for Japan to lead the world, if you will, to get this regulatory framework that everybody's, yearning for. Okay. So I wanted to point that out. And if anything, this last part, I think is from, what's his name? It's from Jasmy Pirate. And it's just a little bit more of a reiteration of what I was talking about. So, he is an active member of the community as well. He's even tagging Hara. Also, this new project, which is Jasmy Voting Power, right? Which is, like it says, boosting Jasmy stakeholders' yield. It's a new thing that was, started from the grant program. Please note that the spelling of Jasmy is often wrong, even in official publications. This looks unserious and not very trustworthy to investors. And let's face it, I mean, fudders are just going to give him a chance to FUD this more. He says he would like to politely point this out to you in the hope that, he can help. And this has happened several times now, and it's been going on for like about a year. I mean, at this point, it's like, come on. And there have been already, increased negative reactions to it. Basically, he gives the examples. We've already seen some of these, like this one, right? Who's Jamie, right? Is Jamie going to be the new lady that's going to represent Jasmy? I don't know, right? There's this, you know what I mean? Booster hashtag Jamsy. I mean, like, why would you do that? No, you're not going to do that. Hold on just a second. All right, so I just thought I'd show you guys that in regards to Jasmy. I'm going to kick it back to the comments that we have. Give me just a second. I mean, it's not a lot in regards to Jasmy, but still. Okay. Let me see where I was last at. Hey, Max, I like that breaking news bit. Nice touch. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, trying to kind of add a little bit more flair, right? Not like that one guy that works at the Shenanigans place, in the movie Office Space for Jennifer Aniston, like telling her that she don't have enough flair. But I am trying to work out some of the flair. All right. Cash Cat says, "Hey, April, let the muff know. I hope he feels better soon." Thank you for that. I did read that already. All right. Yeah, I guess I'm way behind. I just reread some things. Sorry about that. I just need to put a new bookmark. All right. Yeah, I know. Just trying to figure my avatar out. No, that's all right. I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to, but it does help us to remember you because of, with a picture. I mean, if nobody had any pictures, I mean, I guess eventually we would have known who Big Watch Dude is and Coochie Boy, especially Coochie Boy's name. I mean, he doesn't even technically need an avatar. No offense, Coochie Boy. I mean, if I can't remember Coochie Boy, there's something wrong with me. But like, let's say there was like no Stargazer and there was Star Lord and they have no avatars. I mean, don't get me wrong. Over time, we know who they are. Like Eddie T, right? I mean, he's never had an avatar. There's exceptions to the rule. Oh, that's all right, man. You could get like a, I don't know, GT 500 or whatever. Michael Montclair, John Wayne bought and lived on a river boat in the summers and wore a toupee. Who knew? Well, who knew is right. GT put up a pic of Caroline on her pogo stick. Oh my gosh. All right. If I didn't get a chance to welcome Dingy or anybody else, welcome you again. Abdul Jawad, Jasmy, let's go. Glad to have you. Yeah, they gotta get that sorted. I agree. That's my jam. Summer Thud, welcome. Glad to have you here. All right, this project is so low and they keep messing up. They don't have space for errors. Yeah, and I guess I'll just keep buying more. I know I'm ignorant like that, but that's what I do. But I will point out some things like you guys have. Crypto Jedi says someone left a comment on Jasmy YouTube video that Jasmy reaching $1 price may not be realistic. It's always going to be somebody like that, man. I think it would be more than realistic, especially with the lockup. I know some people said, we need confirmation. I get that. All right. Summerfoot says, sorry, late to the train, but I will be getting some Jasmy. Is 1 million enough to start with to catch the new wave? Shoot, man, more than enough. I don't have 1 million yet. That's one of my goals. So you'd be smashing that already, man. Cool stuff, Selmo. Crypto Jedi says if that's true, Jasmy not reaching $1, then we need to accumulate 2 million Jasmy coins. I don't think that's true at all, man. I mean, I think they're going to hit some of the KPI targets, and then some. They have products. I mean, yeah, obviously they should probably hire some people with like, you know, foreign affairs or, you know, foreign marketing and so on, other than just Japan. I think I'll eventually get around to that. But it's just, these are like minor gripes. My thing is, if we're gonna, I mean, we should point out some of the negative things as well as the positive things, but I don't think it's enough for, like, you know, I know you're not going to sell your Jasmy, like you point out, like 2 million Jasmy tokens, but like, realistically speaking, I mean, yeah, there's going to be some people who are going to sell their bags on some of the typos, but that far, like, the people, you know, the people that are holding Jasmy long term, they get the concept of Jasmy. And that is basically, you know, data democratization, you know, the actual products, the secure PCs. Some people understand the whole concept of DFFT. You know, like a lot of the use cases going forward, they actually have real products, and they're also trying to, you know, build a blockchain. They're also trying to work on a long-term goal for these quote unquote smart cities and so on. That's what my next deep dive is going to be about. I have something pretty solid in regards to Toyota and Panasonic, believe it or not. Didn't have enough time to piece it all together for you guys on the show. But, you know, look out for that, because that is big. And some of the things that they confirmed, and it's actual interviews, or not interviews, but, you know, live press coverage, some of the things that are mentioned, you know, MAAS, mobility as a service, you know, and then like Internet of Things. Obviously, Jasmy is all about the Internet of Things. The last deep dive that we covered in regards to, you know, the patents, you know, the many patents of, you know, Sato-san, right? If people want to take time to look more into some of this stuff, which some of you guys have, but I wish like the majority of people would, I don't think you would see Jasmy at the prices that they're at. You know, the news does need to spread, but at the same time, people, let's face it, they just want, you know, for the same people that complain about fluff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what's on the surface, and then basically spew out news in regards to that. The same people that complain about it are the same people, I hate to say it, that technically want it, because they don't want to spend the time to hear about a deep dive and so on. And that's just what comes with the territory, and not just with Jasmy, but all this stuff. It's a gripe I have too. It's like, you know, we all want to see this do well and so on. But then there's also going to be, you know, a lot of us are going to be like, dang, man, we could have bought at these particular prices. I mean, it's teach his own. I mean, if the market tanks more, like if we don't get a Fed pause coming up, I'm just going to be honest, we're probably going to tank that much more. But we do get a Fed pause. I mean, I full-heartedly believe we get blast off, and there's been enough data to support that. All right. I want to read a couple more comments. Let's see here. Digi says, nope, I'll hold what I have and see what it does. That's fine. Monica McFadden, thank you for the best coverage on Jasmy. Well, thanks, Monica. Nice avatar. And welcome. Glad to have you here tonight. Guys, let's welcome Monica McFadden. I haven't seen you here before. Normally, we tell people to change their avatar to something that speaks more about who they are and what they're about, but you already did that. And any other questions or comments you have, feel free to drop them. Just glad to have you here. Let's definitely welcome Monica. I want to welcome also back Baby G. Boomer Officer says Jasmy at $1 is very unrealistic. It's going to shoot way past that. That's the way I look at it as well. But a lot of people will take profits at $1. And here's one way to look at it, right? So we're always talking about, you know, there's a lot of people that hold XRP who also hold Jasmy, because it's the two are very appealing when it comes to that, you know, return on investment, or that risk to reward ratio. And so it's like, you know, recognizing these prices and so on, but at the same time, it's like, you know, like with XRP, the connection I'm trying to make is it's a given. All right. XRP goes to $1. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to sell that. XRP goes to $10. A lot of people are going to sell that. I think the same thing could be said about Jasmy. It might not necessarily be like, for instance, at $1, but I think a lot of people, even at 10 cents, are going to sell a bunch of it. Then you're going to see like a big pullback. But if anything, it's all about new support levels. And then when we gain enough traction and hold in the top 100, of course, the next big goal is going to be the top 50. Based off of some of the market cap predictions for Jasmy, a lot of people don't take a lot of this into consideration. I'm not saying you guys, but let's face it, we get back up to the top 100 and we are able to keep that support at the top 100. That puts a lot of eyeballs on the project of Jasmy. You get it to the top 50. Let's face it, guys. I mean, you went PayPay, right? You know, I didn't get a PayPay. Some of you guys did at one point when that was, at its all-time high, which was not that long ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was easily in the top 50. I think that was like number 37th overall. You know what I mean? Like, I even had a bigger market cap than Quant for a brief time, and even BSV and some other ones. That puts more eyeballs on the project. The same thing is going to happen with Jasmy. And so even if we get to, for instance, $1, and I believe that we will, you better believe there will be, of course, where this saying goes, where people take their profits, and whether we agree with that or not, depending on how long you're looking to hold this, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? So that's why I always tell people, like we talk about Salamander. I don't even know if he's here tonight, and that's okay. But he is the perfect example because, I mean, with XDC, what he holds with XDC, while I'm focusing on like $10 in XDC, or the next guy's focusing on 20 or whatever, he doesn't have to worry about that. All he has to worry about is $1 per XDC. And basically, I mean, my God, I mean, that's like what, $1.5 million. People could do the same thing, obviously, with Jasmy. Look at, for instance, Mr. Elon Musk. Look at, for instance, maybe even you, Mr. Selmo Fudd, trying to get into it and so on. So a lot of these things will happen. I don't know if a single project where, you had, let's face it, this is not going to be new all-time highs. $1 a Jasmy is not new all-time highs. The previous all-time highs is $4 and I don't know, $4.29 or something like that. So, but were things as diluted as they are now? Did we have as much of a circulated supply and so on? No, we did not. So we have 95% basically out there. During that time, you just had, what was it like? I mean, it was barely, as the saying goes, you're barely scratching the surface as far as what the supply is and so on. So those are all big factors. For me personally, I want to say $1 is the new all-time highs based off of, the supply. To me, that's a good way of looking at it. Now, based off of that, if you look at other projects out there, not just Jasmy, but you look at, I don't know, there's countless ones of the top 100, right? Look at what kind of supply they had, look at what was circulating and so on, and say to yourself, is there a single one where it reached all-time highs based off of that supply and didn't have at least a pullback based off of people, of course, taking their profits, or as some people say, people dumping their positions. Dumping your positions, I mean, it sounds bad, but in reality, people will take their profits. So I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. But either way, I don't think that's enough. Even with a dump, a mass dump, let's say 50% of the people dumped Jasmy at $1. I don't think that's going to be enough to tank the price down to like, 50 cents or 25 cents per Jasmy. No. But what's going to happen at the same time, and this is another thing people don't realize, is FOMO money. Let's be honest about it. FOMO money leads to apes. People will ape into the project. And as we know, the definition of aping into a project is not doing your own research. And I'm cool with that. I am totally cool with that. Not for me personally or you guys, because you guys are obviously here, you're watching the news. But there is going to be a massive amount of people that will ape into Jasmy just for one main reason. Top 50, and this thing went to over $1. And what the heck is this? And its label is the Bitcoin of Japan. And that's all they need to know. And they will ape into that, just like they ape into any other project. And so while some people will say on the surface that's a bad thing, we know that's what comes with the territory. It doesn't matter if it's Jasmy, doesn't matter if it's Quant, XRP, you name it, or even the meme tokens. That's going to happen. And if you hold the asset at these particular prices or under, like some of you guys have, it's big. All right. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because you guys already know about this stuff. But anyway, Glad you guys welcome Monica. Big Watch 2 says, hey, Max, I apologize in advance because I know you probably talked about this, but why is Jasmy locking up tokens in fourth quarter? I don't know. I don't know, honestly, why they would, because they haven't stated why they're doing it. Now, as far as market cap, or I should say, as far as a supply issue, that makes sense. Because they don't have token burns, right? So they have mentioned in the past in regards to the institutional money coming in and so on, and setting so much aside for institutions and so much aside for the owners and so on. Locking up Jasmy for a set amount of time, let's say, is a year or more. That's good. I mean, for the same reason why staking is good, temporarily speaking. One thing that I have come to the conclusion of when it comes to Jasmy is that this is not going to be locked up all at once. This is something that's been consistent. I know we all want a 70% lockup all at once. I'm just stating this much. On the surface, there's enough evidence to show that is not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see that happen. Now, the duration of time of how that will happen, from what I have gathered, and again, this is just rumors, okay? You can verify it for yourself. I don't have all the links and all that primed ready to go. But from what I've seen, that this will go from the end of this year all the way to possibly 2026. Maybe people don't like hearing that. But also keep in mind, by 2026, we should have more than achieved and then some of the goals that we're looking for, right? Dollar Jasmy or higher. But I don't know if it was Boomer F and sooner. It was like about a week ago, based on current market, that would have put Jasmy up to like what Boomer, something like a penny plus. Some of you other guys have mentioned, where it puts the market cap and so on. So I mean, those are all great things for current market conditions. But at the end of the day, maybe they have a reason for why they don't want to just lock it all up immediately. But the whole point is, they do need to address in a future AMA the 70% lockup. I did tag Hara. I would like to get more people to basically share that tweet. And if you're following me on Twitter right here at DPG Maximus, you too can view my tweet about where I'm basically stating, hey, 70% lockup. Now, I'll show you guys the tweet just in case you haven't seen it. I know we're talking a lot about Jasmy, but we're going to get to some other news here in a bit. I'm just going to pull this up for just a brief moment. I got to kind of find it again, but I do have it. Here it is. Let me just share this with you. Here we go. So here's the thread, or the tweet, I should say, in regards to the lockup. I did tweet this out yesterday. So a lot of you guys didn't, for instance, watch yesterday. That's okay. It says, Hara, can we please get some clarification on this? Is it going to be a 70% lockup during quarter 4 2023, or will the lockup be over a set duration? Either way, let's get this clarified from you, please. Thank you, Hara-san. And here's the original one. If you're wondering, where did this originate from? This is where it originated from. So Jasmy US sent out this tweet on February 6th, or the 2nd, I should say. All right. And, like he says, lockup period begins quarter 4 2023, removing available circulating supply for company holdings. This is a place, like I mentioned earlier, in place of the burn, because we know that with the tokenomics, there is no burns. In reality, I mean, really great projects, right? Like Quant and so on, they don't really have token burns, right? So, I mean, and this is another thing I want to point out. So here's the thing, right? If you want to find out more about this whole subject, I will show you where to go, because I do have more of a deeper dive into this. I'll show you this real quick. So you're going to want to go down to this particular video where I'm dressed up as a fireman. And it says burns and tokenomics. All right. It's quite the deep dive. That was 2 weeks ago. The reason why you want to check that out is going to give you a full outline of like everything in regards to that. But on top of that, you got to understand the importance of why they didn't do burns. Yes, there is a burn address. No, they have not burned anything. And of course, some people are going to say, well, why is that? And I'll just state this because I don't want to just keep harping about it. So it's kind of like, I don't know what is that. Not necessarily Pandora's box or like, Lord of the Rings, right? Like, the power of the ring. Like you just don't Frodo, don't slip the ring on, right? You don't want to abuse the power. But they have the power to basically use this burn mechanism. They don't do that. And in the deep dive, I go through all the reasons for it. And if anything, think about where this is coming from. This is coming from Japan. As we know, they have like an honor system and so on. And that's the whole point. It's like, wow, these guys, even with all the FUD that has been out there about, where the price originally was for Jasmy and how the chart, if you're just looking at it from a chart, you're not, doing more of your own research, it appears just like a lot of projects, like a blatant rug pull. But when you get more into it, you find out like, wow, you know what? Yes, the chart looks like a rug pull, but at the same time, here's the thing. These guys never use this burn address to like purposely like dump their position over and over and over on community holders like ourselves and so on. It's very admirable, to say the least. So I'm just saying, take more of a look into that particular video if you want. But they never did that. Now that burn address is still there, but again, go to Etherscan. You can verify it for yourself. Like they have never done that. And again, I mean, think of how many other projects are out there where they do that all the time. And then they come up with some reasons. I'm not going to mention some of these communities. You already know who some of these communities are. Some of you guys are personally invested into some of these communities. But, they'll give you some excuse, like, oh, it's because we need to, get the troops back together and rethink this and rethink that. Okay. At the same time, this never happened with Jasmy. So again, it's very, very admirable, to say the least. But as far as the specific reasons, like from the head honcho, or from Har is obviously not the head honcho. We haven't got that. All we've gotten is what you see right here on this tweet, and that was literally it. I have dug as deep as anybody could dig when it comes to finding out more information about this. And this is it. So, again, the reason why I point this out to you guys is because I'm hoping, and I'll hit the back button on this. I'm hoping more people retweet this. So far, we only got 12 retweets. I got one quote, like this guy. This guy's kind of acting like a little hot shot, to be honest. More than 20% of the total Jasmy volume is held by Binance, with most of the rest held by various exchanges and individual holders. Therefore, it is impossible to lock up the 70% of the supply. If you can do elementary school level arithmetic, you know this. Okay, well, thanks for being polite about it, but whatever. So, there's that, but, it's one of those things. So, this guy also pointed this out, and, it's not that bad. Like this guy says, how would they be able to lock up 70%? Just wondering, want to show, for instance, 43.91% as of, was it May 25th? I'll blow this up a little bit more. I know we're doing a lot of talk about Jasmy, but you guys are obviously, it's on your mind. So there's this comes from actually Dip Metaverse, top 100 Etherscan wallet analysis, Jasmy dashboard. This is highlighted right here, and if you're wanting to look more into this, I mean, you just go to that retweet I had. So that's what's going on with that. All right. And you don't need to apologize. It's okay. I mean, if you ask the same question, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna hold it against you. It's on your mind, Hit that one song. Was it by Snoop? Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. All right. Want to welcome back Mr. Darren Crumble home. He says, "Hey gang." I believe the guy used to say "gang gang." Maybe somebody else. I don't know. Glad to have you back. Or maybe it was Dingy who would say "gang gang gang." All right. Jack W. Let's get this party started. Thumbs up. Thank you. Used to FUD the double my Jasmy bag to 2 million, so bring it. Oh. Well, thank you for coming over to the other side. Break on through to the other side, right? All right, read a couple more comments. The Aussie Life says he felt guilt tripped after what you said, Max, so had to change my avatar, mate. Oh, well, no, you already had an avatar. It's for people that don't have an avatar. Like GT just had GT, but it's okay. We do like the stereotypical kangaroo because you're from Australia. But it's okay. But technically, don't you live in Italy, or am I confusing somebody else? Maybe. Oh, you know what? Maybe I am confusing you. I'm thinking of Forza Lecce. My bad. You are the Aussie Life. Two different persons. My bad. Really stuff for this project. That's good. That's good. All right, I'll read one more question. 10K moist. Wow. Quick question. Wild dreams for XRP 10K, XLM 5K. What is algo? Well, and we talked about this the other night. Some people were saying like 100 or 200. I don't know. I don't know on that one. I got to reevaluate that. Thoughts on HBAR Council news and its future. It's big. We covered the whole thing of one of the newest members. I think I did a deep dive. Yeah, you can check it out on the recorded section. I'll just show this again. It's right here. HBAR new governing council member, which is Kafra. And you got to keep in mind, they're worth billions and billions of dollars. They are a big player that's part of that council. We obviously know, some other ones are big, right? IBM, LG, and so on, but that was the newest one. I covered that one about 8 days ago. We do have some big news in regards to HBAR. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back into the actual covers, because if I don't do this, this is going to be WrestleMania. And I'm glad that, some of the attendants did pick up tonight, which is good. So thank you for being here. Let me get a bookmark going. All right. And thank you, GSX Gaming, for being here. Guys, let's welcome GSX Gaming. Any other questions you have, feel free to drop them in the comments. All right. So let's jump into this. I do believe it is in regards to, let me see, QNT, if I'm not mistaken. Coochie Boy, to get your link, we'll try to share that here in a little bit. When we get to the XRP news, I'll get into that. All right. All right, cool stuff. Let's get into some QNT. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Here we go. So shout out to San, formerly known as San NL, right? Haven't shared some of his info in a while, but you know what? He's still killing it. So give him a follow. Quant Papa obviously retweet this and so on. So he says, "Oh, hello, DLT API Gateway," right? And we had Tokenizer live on the show to talk about, for instance, what Quant brings to the table, not just interoperability and all that stuff, but more to it than just APIs, right? But it does get mentioned here again. So Project Cedar Phase 2 times Ubin Plus, improving wholesale cross-border multi-currency payments and settlements. They may be thinking like, I don't know what this is about. Well, that's all right. That's why we have some of these shows. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show this to you right here, in which San has gone ahead and blown this up. This comes straight from NewYorkFed.org. You can verify it for yourself. Let's go down to some of this real quick. He highlights some of what you see right here. So, if you're wondering about HL or HTLCs, are time-bound smart contracts. They basically act as bridges between ledgers based on distinct technologies. They allow basically for atomic settlement and digital assets that are maintained on different ledgers and are operated by distinct parties. In the case of a CBDC network, when a payment leg is initiated, the initiating party's CBDC token, or tokens, I should say, for example, CBDC A for this example, are locked for a predetermined amount of time using a hash secret generated by the counterparty. This allows for the initiation of the second payment leg on a separate network where the operator of that network similarly locks CBDC tokens. For example, just like we mentioned earlier, instead of it being CBDC A, is CBDC B on behalf of the counterparty. The second leg is linked to the first by the same hash secret. The party who initiated the first leg can claim the CBDC tokens. For example, CBDC B is owed after the secret is revealed by the counterparty, which enables its counterparty to claim the CBDC tokens. For example, CBDC A locked in the first leg. This process is illustrated in the figure below, and of course, he highlights this. And you see, for instance, the application layer to HTTPS, and to the API gateway web server. Okay. This last part, I want to read this to you guys just for a brief moment. Further details on the execution of cross-border, cross-currency settlement via HTLCs is given in the description of the technical solution. And basically, you know, like there's pros and cons to this, right? So if we are talking about atomic settlement. So the pros of this is that it ensures atomic settlement across networks with distinct technical designs, facilitating greater interoperability. So the cons in regards to this is limited operational scalability, as additional bilateral links are required as the number of transacting networks increases. Now, to jump back to, you know, like you may be lost on this because you're not into the technical stuff, and that's okay. Sam mentions a few key things, and so we're going to show this to you. So he says this collaboration, basically speaking, brings together Project Cedar of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's New York Innovation Center, NYIC, and Ubin Plus of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is MAS. And of course, you know, he's like, you know, doing this, but I'll blow this up for you guys. I'll make it a little bit bigger. You should recognize this guy, especially if you're invested into Quant. And this is basically Andrew Carrier. He's in charge, basically, of the marketing over at Quant Network. So he's got this quote. He says, distributed ledger technology can help improve cross-border wholesale payments involving multiple currencies, according to the findings announced by the New York Fed and MAS. It can, and Quant Network makes it simple, trusted, and future-proof. Of course, this is in reference to what was posted on fstech.co.uk. Central bank experiment finds CBDCs improve cross-border payments. Now, let's jump back to a little bit more of what we have here. We do have the full report. I want to show you this for just a brief moment. So let me just get into this, and I'll show you some of my findings. This is from Project Cedar Phase 2 times, you know, Ubin Plus report. I'm gonna get to the very, very top of this just real quick, because you're gonna see some specific things. I could have just typed in interoperability, but that wasn't the point. What I want to show you guys is this right here, the executive summary. Right. So if you're wondering about Project Cedar, just on the surface, like it says, it's a research project exploring potential improvements for multi-currency wholesale cross-border payments. The project examined whether wholesale central bank digital currencies developed by using distributed ledger technology, DLT, could improve the efficiency and transparency of cross-border payments involving one or more vehicle currencies. Now, in regards to the collaboration, just real quick, this brings together Project Cedar of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York Innovation Center and Ubin Plus of the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Now, one key thing I'm going to show you guys also is in regards to this hash time locks. So they have this thing called hash time lock contracts. It's a form of smart contract where, you know, it's used to successfully bridge ledgers with distinct underlying DLT systems and execute simulated cross-border, cross-currency payments. This demonstrated that interoperability could be established across ledgers with different technical designs. Now, there's going to be some people who are going to say this is not, you know, over ledger. Hear me out. It is over ledger. I'm going to get more into that. So one of the key things you're also going to see here is where it talks about, for instance, the settlement. So the settlement was achieved in under 30 seconds for all test scenarios, including payment chains requiring several cross-ledger currency exchanges. This could reduce the need for manual correspondence across time zones that can drive delays in these complex cross-border transactions. People that don't understand Quant don't realize that, for instance, you can go to the XRP ledger, you can go to some of these other particular ones through the power of interoperability through Overledger. That's one of the beautiful things about it. You know, some people are just going to point like, no, Max, you're full of crap. It's all QNT token, it's ERC20. You're not understanding the whole concept of Overledger. You're not understanding this whole concept. I'm going to go further down. While DOT was explored as a potential solution in Project Cedar times Ubin Plus, alternative technical designs may also provide viable solutions. No decisions as to optimal technical design have been made by the Federal Reserve System and MAS. However, this report is separate from the Federal Reserve's boards and MAS's evaluation of the potential benefits. I'm going to get down to a little bit more in regards to this. Here's an example. Phase 1 of Project Cedar focused on enabling real-time atomic settlement in an FX spot transaction through settlement in wholesale CBDC based on DLT. The project, if you're wondering, was successful because it demonstrated settlement in under 15 seconds on average across a simulated network of 8 distinct currency ledgers. 8 different ones, right? So, you can, for instance, include for instance, the XRP ledger and so on. There's other examples like Stellar, right? Let's get a little bit more into this. I'm not gonna make it, too, distinct. Hold on a second. I think I'm getting a grumpy person in the background. Just a second. All right, sorry about that. I'm gonna get into just a little bit more of this just for a second. So, let me pull it down. Yeah, this real quick about Project Cedar. So, I gotta get back to that. I gotta interrupt. I hate when I get interrupted sometimes. I hate when kids do it in my class, and I hate it especially in real life in person. Hold on a second. I gotta get above the hypothesis. All right. So to design Project Cedar with Ubin, for instance, it presented opportunity areas in a corresponding hypothesis like that was established. The hypothesis center on the assumption that emerging technology, specifically DLT, has the potential to solve for known problems in certain cross-border, cross-currency payments. Although alternative technologies may also provide such benefits. Let me make sure I'm not muted, thank God. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Such benefits. The Cedar times Ubin plus experiment focus on understanding the potential value of DLT within the identified problems. Here's the opportunity to establish technical interoperability and multi-network connectivity across national payment systems and infrastructures. Here's again one of the hypotheses. Wholesale CB systems developed using DLT can be technically interoperable with other payment systems across different jurisdictions. This basically smashes the whole notion that, for whatever reason, when people just on the surface haven't done more of their own research in regards to Quant, right, are stating that, no, this is, this can't be done because of QNT token and only because of QNT token. You're not understanding Overledger. Although central banks may implement a range of technical solutions to support the exchange and settlement of their respective wholesale CBDCs, these single currency ledgers can enable participants in one jurisdiction to transact with participants of another. Guys, listen to this. Without the need for each participant to gain access to each ledger. That's the whole part, one of the main, I should say the whole purpose of Overledger. I mean, obviously there's APIs, there's a lot more to it, right? We know about QRC 721 with secure smart contract NFTs. This last part, or without participants relying on a central party to discharge obligations on a common multi-currency ledger. I'm just going to show you guys just a tad bit more of this because I know for some of this might be going right over your head and you might be getting bored with this. I don't know. Although alternative technologies may also provide such benefits, the Cedar times Ubin plus experiment focus on understanding the potential value of DLT within the identified problems. Here's another one of those opportunities: establish technical interoperability and multi-network connectivity across national payment systems and infrastructure. I think I already read that part. Sorry about that. Let me jump down to this. Here's that figure that Mr. Son NL was highlighting. So in this figure, you have HTLC model, right? Again, bank A and bank B. For this purposes, we'll just say the central bank, A and B. This is what he was highlighting, right? The application layer over to the API gateway web server. You have to have, for instance, through the firewall, the secure channel, and it goes over. So basically one bank, just like let's use, for instance, the Bank of International Settlements to another bank, which could be, for instance, I don't know, the Bank of England, right? Let's go down to, Hold on. I remember where I was at. When you get interrupted sometimes, it kind of messes up your flow. Hold on. All right, this part real quick. The results, they did have success in regards to this validation, because I'm not going to spend 51 pages with you guys, but just if you're a quant holder, this is big. So the experiment ultimately met the 3 success criteria for Project Cedar times Ubin Plus by validating each of the 3 corresponding hypotheses. Interoperability, HTLC successfully bridged 2 or more distinct ledgers with differing underlying DLT systems in this experiment. All test scenarios were successfully load tested for 10 minutes across Cedar and Ubin Plus ledgers. And HTLC was successfully deployed across each transaction whenever a new payment was initiated by a payment generator. I do want to talk about this for just a brief moment in the next part, and then I think we're going to finish this up. So atomic settlement. Sometimes you guys have heard about, for instance, real-time gross settlements. What about atomic settlement? Like, are you aware of that? So in regards to atomic settlement, the test demonstrated atomic settlement for the end-to-end payments across multiple transaction legs through HTLCs and DLT-based ledgers. Under scenario 3, which depicts a typical FX trade with a vehicle currency such as USD, all trades settled atomically for all transactions across ledgers of differing technology. This is one of the key areas you should basically focus on if you hold QNT. With an average of 6.48 payments per second and a peak of 47 payments per second. So we understand at the end of the day that QNT itself, the actual token, is not going to be used for payments. Well, no kidding. But the key thing is with overledger. So when you hear, for instance, Gilbert Verdian, or Martin Hargreaves or some of these other guys from Quant Network basically mentioning, look, we're not focused on retail, right? They're not focused on retail. If they're focused on retail, yes, then I understand the whole concept of the QNT token being a big issue, but they're not focused on retail. What they're focused on, obviously, is all the bigger, the bigger picture, the institutional money, if you will, right? So when you come to the understanding of that and you see things, for instance, here where it says all trades settled atomically for all transactions across ledgers of differing technology, right? Overledger, when we talk about interoperability and so on, you are taking the technology, for instance, of Ripple's XRP. You are taking the technology of Stellar and so on, XDC, especially when it comes to the R3 quarter bridge, and countless other ones. We're talking 100 plus blockchains, fully interoperable, right? And it's not just what's on the surface with APIs. Obviously, we're talking about APIs, but understanding the broader picture. When Quant Papa mentioned to me that, for instance, with Overledger, they can quickly, and we showed you guys this in the deep dive, if you happen to take the time to see it, it shows specifically how, on the demo of Overledger, a lot of times we talk about Overledger and what it brings to the table, but we don't understand or haven't seen live action. We saw that demo, and it shows specifically in the demo where they were able to hop right over to Ripple's XRP through the XRP, the XRPL, right? And basically solve some of the things that people thought would never be able to be solved. Again, differing technology. Near real-time settlement. All primary scenarios satisfy the condition of average end-to-end payment latency of fewer than 30 seconds. So that right there, I mean, can tell you, right, obviously ERC20 token is not going to settle in under, less than 30 seconds. So come on. Successfully validating the third success criterion of near real-time settlement. In the most complex scenario, which employed 3 vehicle currencies, the Project Cedar times Ubin Plus solution design achieved an average end-to-end payment latency of 17 seconds. There's just a tad bit more I'm going to get into, and then I'll wrap this up because I know I probably made this a little bit too long. I want to show you guys this just briefly. Transparency. So it's a transparency key benefit that DLT may provide as the immutable and visible nature of the data structure affords participants potentially richer, real-time, and more resilient data. However, transparency is also closely related to privacy, which could be considered as a drawback of DLT systems. This further discussed in the section below. You know who originally addressed this about 4 years ago, in 2019? Go back to some of the videos. I don't have it, unfortunately, readily available, but we have shared this numerous times. Gilbert Verdian has mentioned numerous times when interviewed about, in order to obtain the ultimate security, you got to give up some privacy. This is addressed here. Currently, access to different networks is provided by intermediaries. He addresses that, who rely on confirmation of debits and credits and account statements to provide confirmation of settlement to their clients. Again, another thing that Gilbert Verdian has mentioned. This last part, interoperability, all right? This is going to, like it says, reduce barriers to access from a technical perspective by removing the need of a common ledger design or a shared platform. Understand the whole concept of why Quant is blockchain agnostic. Yes, I get it. People have said to me, not just saying one guy, many people said to me, Max, especially in DMs, Max, you're not understanding that there's other blockchains that can make this interoperable. Okay, I get that. But are you going to be able to allow for interoperability at scale and also be able to do what? Do it in a lesser time frame. We have shown enough evidence, especially with, I'm not saying it, but Gilbert Verdian has showed many times that you had, for instance, this one particular project, and it was going to take 3 to 4 years to solve what they need to do. And typically speaking, through the old traditional model of interoperability, you're looking at just that 3 to 4 years because they had to build a whole other blockchain. With Quant's overledger, it takes a lot of the heavy lifting or the time consumption out of the mix, and knowing that, a lot of overhead as far as let's face it, the financing to get this all done, because it is blockchain agnostic. You don't have to have another layer of blockchain to make it interoperable because you have Quant's overledger. So you can take more of your own deeper dive into Project Cedar if you want to do that. It's about 51 pages in regards to phase 2. But I wanted to give a shout out once again to the one and only, San, who came up with this. And I'm going to zoom out just a bit. I think I already retweeted this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I did retweet this. So, it's basically all there. You even have Andrew Carrier, who, a lot of these guys are under NDA. And, some people say, it doesn't say Quant. If it said Quant, my God, can you imagine if it did say Quant? But understand some of the past interviews. Connect the dots. Do your own research. That's the whole point. All right, I went on a tangent there. Thank you for being here tonight. I do appreciate you guys. I'm going to get into a few more comments. I'm going to double check the other screen, see how we're doing. And let's see here. All right, Pepe is the new Jasmy. I would disagree with you on that. That's all right. Pepe is coming out with a secure fraud computer. Okay. The Crypto Jedi, we should all blackmail BlackRock, or we should all email. Not okay. I almost said blackmail BlackRock. I did say that, didn't I? If we all blackmail BlackRock, we'd probably be all dead. So we should all email BlackRock and Vanguard that they should invest in Jasmy. Get the word out. I'm locking up the Jasmy. Is Jasmy a criminal? Why are they locking it up? Lock it up so no one can sell it if it dumps, perhaps. All right. Elon Musk says XRP is #1 trending on KuCoin. I did get a notification about that. Yeah, I saw that. KuCoin did send me something in regards to that. GT, what was Jasmy all-time high in market cap? Anyone? I don't have that, unfortunately. I'm sure somebody could tell you that. River, happy Memorial Day weekend to my friends. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good Memorial Day weekend. I got some steaks, so it should be good. All right. Burke, welcome back. Hey, man, been trading all weekend and camping, not at the same time. Cool, man. Welcome back, GF Burke. All right. Magic Power says Gate.io chart shows 574 all-time highs for Jasmy. Yeah. Interesting. This whole lockup business sounds a little gay. Tim Shea Magic could have gotten a high. All right, let me go further down. Sorry, Max, spell check meant Max. It's okay. QT been trending good on Twitter. It has been. ever since the whole connection of the Bank of England, and we saw some of the interviews, I think it has been picking up. I don't know specifically if that's the reason why, or there's a lot of talks about CBDCs. I mean, it's hard to say. I've been trying to narrow it down specifically. It also could be, with the pullback. I don't know. I mean, under $100 for Quant, that's a buy in my opinion. All right. Crypto Jedi says QT went below 100 for a bit. I missed out on the opportunity because I got paid on Saturday. Darn. Yeah. All right, Jedi, people jump on it. It's $100. I was hoping for 80. Yeah. All right. Let me get into a few more comments, and then I'm gonna kick it back to what we have. I think the next one is going to be maybe XRP. We'll see. Focus on widespread adoption and interoperability. Plus, those of us that have used XLM know it works great. All right, I'm going to read like two more. Crypto Jedi says XRP, XLM, XDC, LCX, Algo, Quant, HBAR, Casper, Bone. All great investments. Marriage is the worst investment. I probably have to agree with you on that. I've never been married yet, but came close, and that would have wrecked me. All right, it's all about KS and Quant. I don't hold any Casper, but I own Casper. I just don't own the Boston version of it, if you know what I mean. All right, Max will be buying sushi for all of us soon. It'll be nice to do something like that in the future. All right, it's gotta be fresh though. Can't be that grocery store sushi that's been sitting there for like the whole day. It's gotta be fresh. All right, gonna kick it back into what we have on the coverage. But glad to share that with you guys. Shout out to Quant Papa and Son NL. Let's get into the next part of what we have. Yeah. All right. So got some news in regards to XRP. Let me just pull some of this off for a second. All right. Here we go. All right, so we got some XRP breaking news for you. I don't know how breaking it really is, but it seems like it's pretty breaking. So yeah, let's jump into that. And it does come from crypto Twitter, but there's some references basically being made here. Shout out to the Wall Street Bulls. He can be followed at W_the Jazz. He has this announcement here for you guys. Says breaking news in the crypto world. It's XRP taking center stage, being adopted as the bridge currency by BRICS, right? And an impressive 145 countries. Neither Bitcoin nor Ethereum, but XRP heralds this new era of international finance, the ripple effect. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, make it a little bit bigger. And I do apologize. It's going to be smudged because that's how the guy took it with his cell phone, I think. But let's jump into this, and hopefully you can see it all right. Yep, you do. So it says telecommunications, equipment, biotechnology, and educational activities. One of the toolkit projects based on the mechanisms of blockchain technology was the Bank of Russia project on the cross-border transfers implementation. In the first half of 2018, the Bank of Russia's Novosibirsk Innovative Laboratory conducted research on testing the possibility of cross-border settlements using the the Ripple platform. The system technology assumed that the settlement participants had special accounts opened in national payment systems and addresses in the Ripple network. Reflection of operations in national payment systems could be performed both after each transfer and at the end of the trading day or at certain intervals. Based on the research results, it was concluded that the Ripple platform can be considered as the basis for starting work on creating a system of cross-border settlements, provided that the following organizational, legal, and technical issues are resolved. And here they are. Use for XRP transfers or equivalents of fiat currencies issued by each participant, the national bank. Determination of a mechanism for reconciling balances between the accounts of Ripple's participants and the national payment system. Use of embedded cryptographic solutions on the Ripple network. Development of a procedure for determining cross rates for internal currency of Ripple XRP when deciding to use XRP in interstate settlements. And then this one, maintaining correspondent directories, or correspondence, I should say, between the addresses of the accounts of Ripple network participants and the accounts of the banks they serve in the national payment systems. Now, of course, there's a lot more. And I'm not going to read these two. I mean, it's okay, but this last part is good. The most significant Russian project based on the use of blockchain technology is the Master Chain Decentralized Network of Exchange and Storage of Information. The Master Chain platform is a Russian national network based on a network, or I should say a blockchain technology designed to transfer digital assets and information about them between users. As a basis, the Master Chain platform uses the source code. All right, I'm going to jump back into this. Give me just a second to do so. So he has a source, and when I got into the source, this is going to solidify all this, because sometimes at the end of the day, it's like, okay, some person could, basically type in a bunch of things on text and make it look blurry, but you need to have, for instance, a source, and I would fully agree with that. So, there's this right here, and it says foreign and Russian experience of blockchain digitalization by central banks, financial and technology companies. Now, this is dated all the way back on January of 2020. This comes from ResearchGate, okay? And like it says, this was the Second International Scientific and Practical Conference, quote, Modern Management Trends and the Digital Economy from Regional Development to Global Economic Growth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to jump to the juicy stuff. So reading all of it. And you're going to see here specifically on this introduction, all right, it's going to show you, for instance, the digital technologies mastering provides economic entities with undeniable advantages such as improving the efficiency of business processes, improving competitiveness and synergistic effect due to opportunities for interaction between market participants, expanding prospects for activities based on the use of digital payment systems and digital money. Currently, listen to this, guys. Here's the juicy stuff. The most common platforms used for piloting by financial organizations and solution regulators based on blockchain technology are Ethereum, Corda, Ripple, Quorum, Hyperledger Fabric. All right. On top of that, let's jump down to the next part. In the first half of 2018, the Bank of Russia's Novosibirsk Innovative Laboratory conducted research on testing the possibility of cross-border settlements using the Ripple platform. With system technology, assuming that the settlement participants have special accounts open in national payment systems and addresses in the Ripple network. Reflection of operations in national payment systems could be performed. I read some of this stuff, right? Based on the research results, it was concluded that the Ripple platform can be considered as a basis for starting work on creating a system of cross-border settlements, provided that the following organizational, legal, and technical issues were resolved. And like you see right here, determination of a mechanism for reconciling the balances between the accounts of Ripple participants and the national payment system. Use of embedded cryptographic solutions on the Ripple network, like I mentioned before. But it's all there, and it basically is a reference to all this. Mentions it quite a few times, to say the least. All right. This last part, the icing on the cake for the juicy stuff. Says basically, the process of KYC for enterprises requires authentication and authorization of key persons who sign on behalf of the company, organizational structure, and direct shareholders of the company. Further concluded that, according to the Russian government, listen to this, guys, Ripple blockchain has been chosen and preferred among other blockchains. Wow, right? Like, are you with me? That's a big wow moment. For storing KYC data and cross-border settlements. Also, Papers site, like, you can go to these if you want. The acceptance by various European, Asian, and African countries to incorporate innovative digital technologies such as blockchain technology and machine learning. But again, the key highlight concluded that according to Russian government, Ripple blockchain has been the chosen one, if you will. That's pretty big. At least I thought so. And I would like to, again, thank this guy for finding this. Definitely give him a follow if he'll let me. Following too many people. I'll give him a follow, but maybe you guys should give him a follow as well. But that is pretty big, right? To say the least. So I thought I would share that with you guys. And if anything, we'll kick it back to the comments for a brief bit. All right. Let's go further down. Craig Connor says Pepe is actually the new Bitcoin. It's just on ETH. It does nothing. But you can trade it and maybe send it for an exchange of, that's the way I look at it. Do a power swap and stack more of the long-term ones that you want. And people definitely will do that. All right. Read a few more comments. Glad to have everybody here tonight. Let's see how far behind I am. I'm not that far behind. 7:37, and it is 7:46. So it's not too bad. All right. And if I accidentally missed somebody's question, it was on purpose. XRP going to $100. I think so. For me though, I'm not gonna. I know some people say, yeah, man, bull crap, Max. If XRP goes to 100, you're not gonna, take your profits. You gotta keep in mind, like, there's a saying when it comes to crypto, and that is, don't marry your crypto. But there are some exceptions. And some of the exceptions for me is Quant, XRP, Stellar XLM. She's a super freak. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you guys are having good conversations with each other. All right, let's see where we're at. Craig Connor says he'll be moving all his scattered BNB around until 1 a.m. and like 10 wallets. My God. I really do not want to drain the 150 in my bank account to buy more BNB. I need that 150 to work next week. Oh. Okay. John Francis says about 10K here and there, but mostly in 2021 in XLM. Oh, okay. You do have a ledger. Yeah, you're very welcome. I don't know if that means you're leaving or you guys stick around, but nonetheless, thank you. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the next part of our coverage. And let me see how I'm doing with time. So doing pretty well, I think. Hour and 33 into it. Some of you guys showed up late, and that's okay. You don't have to show up like right on, this isn't school. All right, so this is another one I want to show you real quick. Where is this one? Yeah, this one's pretty good. I already shared this earlier. So in regards to ISO 222, this comes from ISO GOAT. So he says this guy came with the heat, Let's blow this up for a second. So it says solution overview. I'll try to blow it up a little bit more. See if I can do that. Yeah, that's nice and big. All right. So on this one, it states solution overview. The payment modernization use case enables banks and credit unions to provide payment offerings that customers desire while also enabling faster integration to various payment solutions with minimal development time and cost. Even without even looking at this, I would think of like, okay, well, ISO 222 messaging, right? Well, yeah, we're getting to that. This use case provides an application network that enables financial institutions to easily integrate with both traditional methods or channels such as ACH, Fedwire, Swift, right? And emerging payment solutions such as blockchain. The application can also be expanded to offer P2P payments, support for crypto payments, and other emerging payment options. The following diagram provides a high-level overview from a standards perspective of the protocol demonstrated by this use case. Now I'm going to show you some of this. I just want to state this. You know who, I'm not going to mention his name because I just don't even mention his name anymore, was stating that we were all lied to. All of us were lied to. Remember a few months back? Oh, remember me and Crypto Smith basically try to get into this, but we were all lied to. You know, he holds all these, but yeah, we were all lied to. It's not going to be on blockchain. What a crock, right? All right. The following diagram provides a high-level overview of a standards perspective of the protocols demonstrated by this use case. And here's how some of this is broken down. All right. So, for instance, financial protocols, connectivity, ISO 222, Swift, ACH, Fedwire. Boom. Right. In this design, the open banking experience layer can be exposed for mobile and web app and consumers, in addition to service providers and other institutions. The buy-in reference framework is used for internal business orchestration in the process layer, which is augmented by the cloud information model. The business process then leverage the ISO 222 standard of payment messaging in the system layer. This provides for greater flexibility in solution design while maintaining compatibility with common standards. But apparently, we're all idiots for sharing stuff like this. Please. Anyway, yes, ISO 222 is definitely going to be on blockchain, and this whole notion that it's not going to be is absolutely absurd. Anyway, so I'll throw that out there. That has been retweeted. Glad to share it. I'm going to jump into the next bit of coverage of what we have tonight. We're going to jump into Stellar XLM. And this comes from the one and only, the great Alp.web3, formerly known as Alp.lsp. I'm going to go ahead and blow this up a little bit more for you guys. So something that doesn't get mentioned quite a bit is, Stellar, why you should mint NFTs on Stellar. Like, a lot of times when people think about like minting NFTs, they might be thinking, let's face it, we're all complaining about minting, things on Ethereum, but people do think of Ethereum. People think of Solana, especially in 2021. But why should you mint NFTs on Stellar? So let's jump into this for just a brief moment, and then we're going to get into some of the good stuff. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens, as we know, that represent unique digital items such as artwork, music, games, so on and so forth, right? They have been gaining popularity and value in the crypto space, of course, but not all blockchains are suitable for issuing them. That's why Stellar is a great choice for NFTs. And the reason why I want to bring this to your attention is because a lot of times Stellar is not really mentioned when it comes to this. Maybe once in a while, but for me, unless I'm missing something, it's something that's not consistently mentioned. That's why I thought I'd bring it to you guys. Stellar is a fast, scalable, and low-cost network that enables anyone to create and trade any assets. Stellar does not rely on minting, or I should say mining, to secure transactions. While it basically means that they have much lower environmental impact than any other blockchain that consumes a huge amount of energy. Stellar also has a built-in decentralized exchange, which is a DEX that allows users to swap any asset on the network without intermediaries or fees. This makes it cheap, or easy and cheap, I should say, to buy and sell NFTs on Stellar as well as to discover new ones. NFTs on Stellar have some unique technical challenges, such as how to store metadata, images. You get the gist, right? NFTs on Stellar also have the potential to unlock new forms of creativity, expression, and value of artists and collectors. They also benefit from the network's features such as low fees, fast transactions, global reach, interoperability with assets, right? So that's cool stuff right there. Now, what I want to show you is something that maybe, I guess you were somewhat aware of, maybe not, I don't know. But yesterday we were talking about, hold on a second, Cubist. And if anything, I mean, there's a lot more to Cubist than meets the eye. So I want to show you guys this, and it's just kind of like a blast from the past, if you will. All right, so this comes from Crypto-News, right, Flash. And in regards to Cubist and so on. It states Stellar Lumen's Bridge Bounty Program offers huge grants. Will XLM be suitable for CBDCs? Now, this is consistently being brought up lately. A lot of people feel as though they could be very well the one, or not just the one, but one of a few that will be the key players. All right. Obviously, Cubist is listed here. This is the one that recently had like the interview from the other day. When this program ends, we have a Stellar video for you guys, just in case you missed yesterday's show. It states Stellar Development Foundation has announced the winners of its Bridge Bounty program. Right, we get that, right? But I want to show you guys down here in regards to Cubist, because yesterday maybe I didn't do the best job of explaining just like the core fundamentals of what they do. All right, I showed you the interview. Just want to show you this real quick. So in regards to Cubist, and by all means, check out the video. It's going to be released after the show. It's already uploaded. All we have to do is just click one button. Cubist simplifies the process of building, testing, and launching multi-chain decentralized apps. Developers can use Cubist to deploy their whole application with one click. Also, Cubist makes it seamless and secure for Sorbonne contracts to communicate with contracts from other blockchain multiverses. And one of the cool things about this is basically this. We have seen other Stellar projects, right? Which they get greenlighted. This project is built on Stellar. This other project is built on Stellar. One thing I do like is you're seeing projects, for instance, Sorbonne, right? They are working with, for instance, Cubist and vice versa. I like the idea of an ecosystem, if you will, where you have a collaboration of developers from other projects of that ecosystem working together. A lot of times you don't see that. All right. And I think this is one of the gripes that some people have mentioned when it comes to, I would love to see, obviously, Terra Luna build this ecosystem, like how it originally was before everything went to crap. But on the surface, right, just focusing more on Stellar, this is great. And what we outlined in yesterday's live show, which of course you guys are going to have be able to see on the recorded, is with Cubist, they're solving a real problem with real use case, with originality, if you will, right? Like what they bring to the table. I'm not gonna tell you everything about it because I do want you guys to watch the video just in case you haven't, you don't know more or don't know a lot about Cubist. It's just that if you have something that's original and it's being built, for instance, on Stellar, that's big in itself, because this provides a real world solution to a problem that needs to get solved. I don't want people to just necessarily dismiss this as just another project built on Stellar. Oh, okay, cool. This is just news. No. This is, I would say, Cubist is definitely a big deal. Sorbonne's a big deal as well. So definitely, try to look more into that. That's about it in regards to the Stellar news. Not a lot today. The next segment that we have for you guys is XDC. So we'll jump into that in a little bit, but I'm gonna kick it back into the comments. And let's see who we got in the comments. Cool Cat says he's trading everything for Pepe, and he's winking. John Francis says he never bought Pepe. Yeah, I never bought it either. But I probably, I missed out on opportunity. You know what I mean? But let's face it, some of us miss out on certain opportunities and some of us don't. I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. Neither should you. X marks the spot. Welcome back. I always remember your avatar because it looks like you're trying to catch snow in your mouth, or hail, or snowflake, or something. But welcome back. X marks the spot says, will Jasmy being on Ethereum be a problem with gas fees? No. If anything, you can, a lot of people don't realize it. Even with the whole thing that happened with, it's not a full delisting, so we are in the innovation zone, but you could still purchase Jasmy on Binance, for instance, and there is a BNB bridge. A lot of times people want to fudge Jasmy. Oh, the Ethereum gas fees. There's a BNB bridge. So let's just, throw that out there. And as we know, there's significantly less fees on that. And then, I know that a lot of people are not the biggest fans of centralized exchanges and so on, but you could go the centralized exchange route. You could purchase it, Jasmy, with the USDT pairing, you're not going to get hit with insane fees. So there's that as well. But yeah, there's a BNB bridge, and you can look more into that for yourself. People will get wrecked soon. PayPay is the new world currency. Oh boy. All right, sorry about that. Brian Dowie wants people to know that he sold all his PayPay for Pink Taco Inu. Nice. All right. Let's go further down. Bitcoin, BTC, never disappointed me. Stellar is a slow process. All right. John Francis also says if XLM goes to 7, he'll have free barbecue for this whole room. Invite Caroline too. If Tim Shea is still here, I think if anything, we will not invite Caroline. We'll invite Eva. Let me pronounce it right. Savajou. Is that how you pronounce it, Tim? If you're still here, or Brian Savajou. That's the one that needs to get invited. But thank you. All right. John Francis said pink taco all the way. You guys got some interesting comments there. I'm not gonna highlight some of these. John Francis, sorry, Max had a bit of brace. That's all right. That's all right. You know what? It's Friday. Come back, or sit back, relax. And you made it. Congratulations. Unless you're already retired or something. Crypto Jedi says Pay Bitcoin has utility. That utility is taking your money and giving it to someone who invested earlier than you. Wow, that's a great perspective. That's one way of looking at it, huh? All right, thank you for that, Crypto Jedi. For someone that invested earlier than you. I can't do the Yoda. I used to be able to do a little bit of a Yoda. I can't do it no more. All right, Elon Muff, welcome back. Both Max, boom. Eva, yes, Eva is just like, wow. Long, some Jasmy, like 10x, Denel too. Speaking of Denel, let's just play this for some of you guys that missed it. Let's highlight this. I'll pull this up. It's real quick. You may have not seen it before. Let me show you. Here we go.
Giselba, and I've got a big announcement. I'm going to be at this year's Meridian in Madrid. Ain't that right, Danelle?
No hay libros en la biblioteca.
Bueno, I think Danelle's busy. Question is, will I see you there?
I mean, come on, Idris Elba. What's there not to like about that? So, all right. Yeah, because Tim Shea mentioned Danelle. I had to show a little something from Danelle. All right, Mitch H says voot voot, welcome. He actually says woot woot, but I gotta say it like the World Economic Forum way of doing it. Vote vote. This is the Liechtenstein exchange you're looking for, Lionel Richie. All right. John Francis, Danelle has that wild, uncontrolled blonde hair. I bet you would like to see some of that wild, uncontrolled blonde hair, wouldn't you, John Francis? Wouldn't you? Yeah. No, I'm playing all right. I got to come back to normal. We lost some people on that one. All right. All right. So let's jump into this next part of what we have. Some good stuff. Some good stuff from Elon Musk. Man, now I'm starting to get carried away. I gotta keep my straight face back on. Keep it serious, Max. Keep it serious. Just talk about the Liechtenstein exchange. Some people don't like me doing that. Some people like me doing it. Some people don't like me doing it. It's kind of like a catch-22. Stop doing the Japanese voices, Max. You're gonna lose people. It's like I'm not supposed to say, bring great honor. Some people don't like that either. So it's all right. But we can all have a good laugh. I do come from that era where, people don't worry about getting so offended about stuff with comedy, but with woke culture and so on, that's one thing I do like about Dave Chappelle. I mean, he didn't change just because the times have changed. All right. Max 1 Jasmy tag. All right, I'll take a look at it. And Apricorn went, hey, Max, old Muff feels a lot better. He said, wow. Nice. Oh, because of the mushroom? Oh, well, it's a peach. Alrighty. Well, I must be checking out that Jasmy tag. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Nothing to see here. All right. Let's get into the Jasmy tag from Elon Muff. He tagged me. Here it is. Ooh, what is this? Oh, you're blushing now. You must be feeling. Oh, jeez. Well, you know what? What are we talking about? I mean, are we all a bunch of prudes here? I mean, this is a married man. It's to be expected, right? Right. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, if anything, I give her props. You know what I mean? If I was married, I'd be like, you know what? I shouldn't have to explain that. So, you know what? You're just doing what married couples do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if Mike Cornwell wants you to cook him some eggplant, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and if he's like, you know what, honey or baby, you know, I could really use some nectarine right now. You know, some fresh nectarine. I've been feeling good. And, you cook them up, you cut them up some nectarine or peaches or something, you know, moving to the country, you're going to eat yourself a lot of peaches, you know. Peaches come in a can. They were put there by a man from Greenbow, Alabama. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's get into this. So, Jasmy tag from Mr. Elon Muff. All right, here we go. So he states he was here before. Jasmy was cool. He's been preaching Bitcoin in Japan since early 2022. Jasmy big eyes were made right in the 0.0029 to 0.0035-ish range for him. He's glad that he got the bottom. All right. He's got reference codes, Coinbase fees. Oh. Interesting. Well, there you guys have it. Boil it, mash it, stick it in a stew. Potatoes. And there's his proof that he bought the Jasmy. Let me blow this up a little more. Bought Jasmy. Look at that. Liechtenstein Exchange. Jasmy in the house. Says magic power. Look at that. I mean, that's quite a bit to spend, but you know what? He's been part of this whole journey, guys. Look at that. November 22nd, 2021. That's actually right around the time I first heard about Jasmy because of the staking on KuCoin. I didn't get into it. I said I got into it originally on my first bag at 0.00662, 63, something like that. My cheapest bag was 0.0045 something. I'm not complaining. But you would have every right to complain. But here's a guy who understands, the bigger picture, right? That's very commendable, in my opinion. All right, got to kick it into a couple more comments. We'll leave that up there for just a brief moment. I want to welcome Mr. Riskit Biscuit. Finally gave in and bought some Kasparov. Oh, Casper. That's what you call it, Kasparov? I finally gave in and bought some Casper. As I drink lots of vodka. Crypto Jedi. Dave Chappelle cannot be cancelled. He is immune to the cancel culture. Everybody's saying hello to Riskit. Mr. Riskit Biscuit. Not buying any more Quant unless it hits 80 or 125. Giving Riskit dab. Max, look at the price. Oh, well, yeah. You bought it 21 cents. My bad. I did miss that. My bad. So, I mean, you've been in this game for a long time. A very, very long. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Look at that, guys. Mr. Elon Muff. Look at that. 21 cents. Back in day, I used to walk to school. My grandfather said to me, ever since the time I small boy, I always dream of purchasing Jasmy for very cheap prices of 0.0042. And then I met a guy by name of Elon Muff who been in crypto game with Jasmy at 0.21 cents. So skit skit and bing bang. All right. Why do I keep doing that voice? I do not know. Maybe because of Risket Biscuit, but that's all right. Risket Biscuit says Casper is greater than Jasmy. And all you guys who don't realize that are darn fools. And you need to, drink more vodka. I don't know. All right. Elon Musk, my first Jasmy purchase was 21 cents. Yes, I mean, I did point that out finally. Thinking about getting Series 65. Well, I wouldn't mind holding some Casper. I mean, this is one that I'm probably going to eventually get into. But if you feel as though it's better than Jasmy, then that's okay. None of it's financial advice. I'm not going to be one of those guys who'd be like, oh yeah, well, if you're not part of the Jasmy Navy or Armed Forces or whatever, you need to risk it, biscuit your way out of here. I mean, no, I'm not going to be like that. All right. Let's get into the next part of what we have. We have some XDC. So let's jump into some of this. XDC, you know me. We haven't talked about XDC in a while. All right. And why is it that I'm all super close up again? Let me fix this for a second. Downgrade. Whoa. Upgraded. Helped a little bit. All right. So yeah, let's share this. So this is recent, somewhat, May 23rd. Comes from XDC Dev. Starting trade Phoenix live pilot transactions. You may be wondering about this. So it says that the community members, basically, and institutions will need to onboard themselves as an accredited investor / institution with a regulated custodian and securities broker dealer to be shared later. But I did skip over this part. So it says, looking to connect regulated trade finance originators with members and institutions from the community who want to participate. It's going to happen in a couple weeks. The participants should have a minimum of 5,000 FXD to stake in TradeFinex pools, regulated originators. Participants will need to whitelist themselves. I mean, there's instructions there, right? But this is a pilot program from TradeFinex.org, and they have been kind of trending lately. And let's face it, I mean, it's XDC. Everything in trade is going to get associated with them. I do believe I retweet this if you want to participate, but that's not like, a ton of info on XDC. But glad to share it with you guys. Let me see here. I need to jump back. I meant to share Coochie Boy's info. So we're going to do that. This comes from Crypto Globe. Hold on a second. All right, let's share this. So let's shout out to Coochie Boy for sharing this earlier. Upbit distributes X-Core airdrop tokens to XRP and Solo holders. So some of you guys do hold Sologenic. I don't hold Sologenic, and I have nothing against it. Major South Korean cryptocurrency trading platform Upbit has started distributing X-Core token holders of XRP and of Solo that held their assets at the time of the airdrop. Snapshot and plans on supporting withdrawals in the near future. Let me blow this up a little more. All right. So in regards to this, in a recently published announcement, Upbit detailed that the airdrop distribution has now started and is expected to be complete within the next 40 hours. Now, I want to state this real quick, all right? Take the avenues you need to confirm about the real airdrop. You guys know that you may get spammed. I'm just going to throw this out there. How do you know you're going to get spammed? Spammers or scammers, both of them, are definitely going to recognize that this is going to be available. They're going to try to trick some people, making you think that this really comes from, for instance, Upbit. You need to verify that. Most of you guys know about this stuff, right? But in the odd case that somebody doesn't, I just don't want to see you get burned because you could really lose your what on this. So anyway, yeah, taking on 24th at March 24th at 1300 Korean time. Total of 50 million tokens were to be distributed equally between Sologenic and XRP holders. According to the project, a total of 100 million core tokens are being distributed to current token holders, while a total of 50 million X core tokens are being distributed to wallets that hold Solo and or XRP at the time of the snapshot. The team noted that X core, an option token, can be exchanged for core tokens if the core price remains above like $10 for 240 consecutive hours, which is 10 days. That's a big ask. I'm just going to be honest with that. By issuing X core tokens as an option, the core team is providing an additional incentive for the community to support the growth of the core ecosystem, while also providing a measure of flexibility for those who may not wish to hold core tokens directly. It's important to point out that after the expiration, the team notes that regardless of the price, holders of X core are eligible to exchange a 1-to-1 to core tokens via a smart contract on the Corium blockchain. It was recently behind, Solana-based alternative cryptocurrency surge after it was listed on the cryptocurrency exchange. The altcoin called Access Protocol (ACS) saw the price surge over 200% after Upbit announced the listing. So pretty interesting stuff. Shout out to Coochie Boy to share this. This was published yesterday, May 25th. All right. I'm going to jump into the next bit of what we have. Believe it or not, it is, hold on a second. It's LCX. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Crypto Jedi, I'll show yours in just a little bit. I'm just going to do the LCX segment and I'll show yours. All right, so let's get into this. We haven't talked about LCX in a while. Not that I didn't want to. I mean, it's always tagged, but a lot of times I just don't want to do the WrestleMania, Anyway, so I want to show you guys this, and this is in regards to whatchamacallit, LCX and so on. Let me get back into this for a second. Just a second. Oh, yes. All right. So there's a lot that's mentioned there. So it says tokenization is emerging and rapidly evolving area in the blockchain industry, right? We know that. What I want to jump down to this real quick in regards to LCX. So it says LCX applied for registration at the financial authority in Liechtenstein as physical validator to offer tokenization services to clients after regulatory approvals are obtained. You see a lot of the key players here, right? The future will be tokenized, become part of the digital asset revolution today. You see Polygon, Hedera, Quant, Zilliqa. I didn't even know Zilliqa was part of that, to be honest. I used to cover Zilliqa all the time, long before I joined up with Larry. You have Digibyte, right? Some people are like, into Digibyte. I noticed one thing when it comes to Digibyte, a lot of people that hold Digibyte also hold Litecoin. I don't know what's up with that. I'll have to find out more about that. Not that like it's a big deal, but anyway, you see the Galileo protocol listed here. You see Chainlink, right? Even Cello. Obviously Diamonds, the tokenization of diamonds on LCX, and even Constellation DAG. All right. One thing I want to show you guys is this next part, and it's also in regards to LCX. So Monty Metzger on May 22nd put out quite the thread, all right, in regards to LCX. And I've been wanting to share this with you guys ever since then. Never got around to being able to do it, just time constraints or maybe a basketball game or whatever the case. So Monty Metzger, CEO of LCX, says Diamonds announced platform relaunch and the arrival of new Diamond Batch Diamonds. Of course, he has this thread, but we're going to play this for a brief moment. Here we go. cool. All right, let's get back into the thread. So I'm going to share this again. Let me turn on a couple banners. Like David Banner. You're listening to David Banner back in the day? David Banner. All right. The Like a Pimp remix, I was off the hook with Twista and Busta Rhymes. Anyway. All right, so we're going to go further down. So Monty Metzger pointed this out. He says Timons, if you weren't aware of it, it's a leading blockchain-powered marketplace for diamond NFTs, offering users opportunity to own, trade, and hold non-fungible tokens, aka NFTs, that are fully asset-backed by real-world diamonds. You know, one thing I love about this project is, you know, you can actually have a representation of something that you could physically own, right? You know, like a certificate, if you will. Another project that does something similar to this is was it Comtech Gold with XDC, right? So I mean, you know, physical real world assets. Timons utilizes the Ethereum blockchain to create digital representations of individual diamonds. These tokenized diamonds are backed by 1/1 by real world individual diamonds, which are physically stored in high security vault in Liechtenstein and are issued by Lloyd's of London, the famed Lloyd's of London. The platform relaunch is to set to enhance the trading experience for users while expanding the reach of tokenized diamonds to millions of people around the world. One of the highlights of Timons relaunch is the announcement of a new batch of 100 diamonds, the batch which is set to launch on 6/6/2023. So this is some recent new news. He's not just, you know, rehashing or repackaging all of it. I mean, it seemed like it, right? But we're getting a new batch of those 100 diamonds. The Timons relaunch is especially important, like he says right here, for LCX, as users can only buy the diamonds with LCX and at the same time giving each NFT owner exclusive TIA rewards. This marks a significant achievement for LCX and Timons, as it is the first project to be launched as a registered physical validator under Liechtenstein's blockchain laws. On top of this, the relaunch of Timons platform not only signifies a new chapter for the company, but also contributes to the broader narrative of the blockchain's potential in transforming traditional asset markets onwards and upwards, like he says. So it's not the longest of threads, but it's an update in regards to some of this. So it's not like a complete rehash. I think this is good. I mean, you know, is enough to, like, you know, thread the needle when it comes to all this? No, probably not. But you do like to see some of the updates actually coming from the head honcho, Monty Metzger of LCX. So that in itself I thought was pretty cool. On this next segment that we're going to get into is going to be Hedera, but I'm going to go ahead and kick it back into the comments just here briefly. See how far we're into it. 2 hours and 8 minutes into the show. All right. Let me see where we're at on the comments. Menace says, man, I got to get out of here with that Casper better than Jasmy crap. Yeah. You done bumped your head. Today with Jasmy at 21 cents, you can be a multi-millionaire. I bought Jasmy at 27 cents. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna show you that. So everybody's kind of, you know, like going old school, you know, like first grade or something. You know, show me yours, I'll show you mine or something. I don't know. So let's get into that for a brief moment. Hold on. And this one is from the Crypto Jedi. All right, let me see if I can copy the image. I can't do it that way, so I'm going to do it this way. All right, let's share this real quick, and we'll highlight that. This comes from Crypto Jedi, and here's his proof as well. All right, $57 worth of Jasmy, 201 Jasmy, 27 cents per coin. Back on November 3rd of 2021. So you guys came around right roughly in the same time frame. Interesting. All right, we'll keep that up there for a brief bit. All right. I sent Max a screenshot of my Jasmy purchase. Yep, we just showed you that. Or showed everybody that. That makes me want to get some Jasmy now. Menace in regards to tech Casper in regards to potential game, short-term Jasmy and Pony. Okay. So they'll have any trying to fill other bags. And since Binance put them into the innovation zone, Jasmy has been busting their butt to show us it's the real deal, as if we did not know already. Yeah, I mean, for us, right? But for a lot of people who don't know that, that's just where it's at, basically speaking. Hold on a second. All right. Not financial advice. That's a good point. Yeah, you're not getting any new coins. I'm just looking to stack more of what I have. That's where I'm at with that. I have not reached all the goals of like stacking goals. And even if I do reach some of the goals, I mean, I kind of know myself. I probably will just be like, well, I'm gonna stack even that much more. But eventually we're gonna run out of time, just like with anything. I mean, you can't just stack forever, right? I mean, especially with these 4-year cycles. But even when things go to new all-time highs, right? There'll be new projects. Let's be honest about it. Or there'll be the ones that didn't quite go to where we thought they're going to go to, but maybe they will due time. All depends. At the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. All right. So Dinchi says he hopes just one blows up and gets some good returns. You're going to hold XRP to 2070. Oh my gosh, man. I would be not, hold on. I'd be 89 years old. My God. Joke, though. There are a lot of good projects. All depends on what flavor you like, I suppose. The next run is going to be a utility run. Yes, I agree with that. No utility run. No utility, no money, honey. I think there are also big. So the 4-year cycle, right? That could very well happen before the utility run. But I do think at some point both are going to happen. The utility one is what impresses me the most. The one I'd be the most bullish on, right? As far as like that generational wealth is definitely the utility run. There's still a lot of money you can make in a true bull run, but I would agree with you. The utility run, yeah. All right, not financial. Hold on, national future. So crazy. Nice fat. You know what? Caroline been doing squats. All right. Let me see where we're at on some of this. Meta or fraud, hype, pump and dump, no real world use case. All right, let me see what else we got. Salmo, folks, let's smash that like button. Thank you, Salmo. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and highlight this. Let's get into the next part of what we have. So we talk about XDC. We're going to get to Nexera for just a brief moment. All right. So shout out to Tokenizer. He has this. It says, great to see Nexera officially listed in the W3C Consortium, one of the largest global web standard organizations in the world, made of members such as Meta, Consensus, Ethereum, Google, Interledger, ISO 222 authorities, right? Can't wait to see what Alliance Block brings. Let's blow this up a tad. But it's just basically what he reiterated and so on. Fortunately, I don't have a source on that, but it's Tokenizer. And I mean, come on, it's Tokenizer. I mean, the guy's probably like one of the best deep divers out there. So thought I'd bring that to your attention. There's not a lot in Nexera, currently speaking. But that's okay. All right, so share some of the XRP info with you guys. And was glad to do that. Some LCX. Let's jump into some Hedera HBAR. Okay, so there's some key highlights from Hedera. So if you've been waiting for some of the Hedera news, well, then you waited at the right time, or you just jumped in the right time. So I want to give a shout out to this guy, Crypto Dep. He says, coin of the day by social activity. And this is again posted today, May 26th. HBAR is the native token of Hedera, an enterprise-grade public network. The network utilizes hash graph consensus. We know that, right? The gossip protocol and so on. Not a blockchain, right? Which is an alternative type of DLT, right? So here it is. Let's blow this up a little bit more. Coin of the day by social activity from Lunar Crush. And, social mentions in the last 24 hours. I mean, we talked about like Quant got over like, what was it, 2 million tweets or something like that, something crazy. But still, 1.44K posts, social engagement in the last 24 hours, 6.14 million. That's pretty big. Twitter volume, 1.38K posts. Spam volume. I don't know if I agree with some of the spam volume, but there it is in regards to that. This next part I want to show you is more kind of like the nitty gritty. So let's show you guys this. So shout out to HBar to the moon. It could be followed at HBar_2_ the moon. He states, breaking CBDC platform MTech built on Hedera has partnered with WAMI to expand to four more African countries. So he states, and look at this, guys, MTech, and if you're wondering about them, they're, like it says, powering modern central banking with open, developer-friendly infrastructure for inclusion and resilience in financial markets. They were already working with the Bank of Ghana and Central Bank of Nigeria, and this agreement is a huge proof that technology is proving to be very successful. So I'm going to blow this up. It takes you to, a little bit of what they're talking about. So according to MTech, like it says, this is official. Building on our work with the Bank of Ghana, the Bank of, Central Bank of Nigeria, West African Monetary Institute has partnered with MTech to expand the regulatory sandbox solution into 4 more countries. So I'm going to take you to this right now, because this is a big deal. This comes from Yahoo Finance. West African Monetary Institute, WAMI, partners with Solutions Inc. to modernize fintech regulatory framework. Let me see if it's chopped off. Yeah, it was chopped off. Frameworks across the West African Monetary Zone. Again, this was published earlier today. So it says, the West African Monetary Institute announced a strategic partnership to modernize country-level and regional regulatory sandboxes, enabling the harmonization of heterogeneous fintech regulatory policies and frameworks across the West African Monetary Zone. The collaboration aims at strengthening financial integration across the WAM's member states. This press release features multimedia. Here's, of course, the full release. And I don't know. I'm hoping that I didn't have a chance to review all of this, most of it. I was kind of hoping to get like an actual video, but they don't have that. That's okay. But anyway, there's a little bit more from Yahoo Finance in regards to this. So this institute hosts Carmel Cadet, founder and CEO of MTech, for official signing ceremony. MTech and also WAMI established a knowledge and collaboration program called the WAMS RegX. The main reason why they're putting a focus on this is because, like it says, it's going to showcase regulatory innovation, sharing insights from global and regional regulatory sandbox, benchmarking, onboarding a cohort of WAMs, regulatory sandboxes to include, or I should say, conduct rapid pilots and promoting value. Additionally, the partnership will involve publishing research and case studies, as well as capacity building programs, thought leadership workshops. Their collaboration with MTech marks a new chapter in a commitment to create a unified financial landscape in the WAMs and signifies a critical step towards achieving a more integrated and technologically advanced financial system in West Africa. Anyway, let me go further down. I want to get down to this real quick. It's this right here. MTech's expertise in central bank digital currency and digital regulatory sandbox technology will support WAMI and WAM's member states in fostering an environment conducive to financial innovation. Carmel Cadet, who is the founder and CEO of MTech, added the collaboration between MTech and WAMI aligns with their mission of making financial markets inclusive and resilient for everyone by modernizing central banking infrastructure. They are eager to work with WAMI to deploy solutions addressing local and regional fintech innovation and regulatory frameworks in the West African Monetary Zone. As many countries are developing fintech regulatory frameworks, a regulatory sandbox is a powerful tool to support safe innovations and capitalize on investment opportunities and economic growth. From, for instance, the United States to Europe, and so on, regulators need novel new tools. By joining efforts with WAMI, they are committed to working closely with all 6 member states and support them along this new journey of modern central banking in Africa. That's pretty big. And this is basically connected to what? Hedera HBAR? Really? Says in MTech, they have a real partner for the long haul. Obviously, there's more information about this, but I don't know. This seems pretty big. This seems like a big, big deal, to say the least, when it comes to this whole thing with Hedera, right? I mean, you're literally having, these West African countries basically using a CBDC, and it's connected with Hedera somehow. It's worth paying attention to. This was reported, of course, earlier today. You can take more of a deeper dive look into this if you choose to do so. I'll copy this for you guys, just in case there's a couple people that want to read up more about this. Here it is. Drop it right there. Okay. There you go. All right. I'm going to stop the screen, kicking into, I think there's only a couple more comments. June for Jasmy, says Brandon Webb. What's the projected price that Jasmy can reach? So the team, hold on a second, let me highlight that as a bookmark. The team from Jasmy on the KPI reports have stated somehow that, I know this sounds nuts, okay, that they're hoping by 2026 to reach $17 per Jasmy. Now, if you're wanting to find out, like, you got any substance in regards to that? I do. I'll show you this real quick if you've never taken a look into this, or, you might not have the time. It's up to you. But basically speaking, let me share this. Hold on a second. Wow. That's all right. Not too shabby. All right. Anyway, you can go to our video section. And if you scroll down, so you click on videos and you scroll down to, let me see, where is that? This one right here, Jasmy 2,635x, 1787 per coin. Because at the time of what the price and market cap was, to achieve what they were saying, but even towards the end of the video, it does a breakdown with calculations and where you get the numbers. You can fast forward it, right? Unfortunately, I don't have those chapters, but you will hear from the Jasmy team about, like, I think it's 2026. They're looking to achieve that based off of a few factors, like, mass adoption of the selling of the secure the Jasmy secure PCs, not just in Japan, but, taking the thing worldwide, right? Obviously the English version of it and so on. Some of these key partnerships that they have, whether it's, through some of these subsidiaries of Toyota, some of the subsidiaries of Sony. But the key things, basically, Selmo, is I would highly recommend you take a look at this as well. The last video I did, or second to last, where it says Jasmy bombshell, Kazumasu Sada, the Sony patents. I confirm in the video his actual patents. And it's big because he is still part of Sony and he's part of Jasmy. So that's pretty big. And what they're looking to accomplish with those specific patents, I mean, the writing is literally on the wall. So, I mean, I know that sounds bold for them to state that, but you also got to keep in mind it's like the culture that they have in Japan and so on. And some of these guys have been in Sony and been working with them for decades. So it's, it's also the reputation online. So I don't know. If you got the time, you can take a look into it. I mean, I know some of them are quite the length, but I did take the time to really get into them. So, in my opinion, to answer your question, Mr. Selmo Fudd, that's the way I look at it. That's a projected price long term. Now, if you're not looking to hold on to it that long, I can't blame you. So, people do feel as though that, Jasmy reaching $1 is more than sustainable, or attainable, I should say. It's within reach and then some. And then, like at the beginning of the show, you mentioned that I don't even know if you're still here, but that's okay. You stated that you're looking to get like 1 million of them. So I mean, if you want to look at it from that perspective, I mean, even thinking small, 1 million of them, $1 million. I mean, I ain't complaining about that. All right. Let me see what else I got here. Best Jasmy coverage, Maximus. Thanks, Cash Cats. Appreciate you, man. Let me see what else I got left on this. So we talked about Hedera, which was cool. Let me see. Almost 2.5 hours into the show. I don't want to just keep prolonging it. All right, so I have some Casper, Algo, and BSV news to drop for you guys. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Share this. So we haven't talked about Casper in a while. I want to talk about Casper for a brief moment. So we're going to jump into this. If you're not following Kevin Cage for Casper, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, he's like probably him and X Frontier, the two top content creators for Casper. So he states, as in Kevin Cage, in his experience, this means Casper will be listed on a tier 1 exchange shortly. Now, what is he referring to? Well, it's in light of what you recently saw for a new asset listing on an exchange, for instance. So from Caleb and Brown. Now, I never heard of Caleb and Brown, but I've heard, when I took more of a deeper dive into it, they don't sound too bad. It's kind of mixed to a sense. Like some people even, mentioning like it has a feeling like, what is it, Celsius? I don't know if I agree with that, but if that was true, I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. But there was a new asset listing. It was listed 21 hours ago, roughly, right? About Caleb and Brown. So I'm gonna blow this up, and here's a little bit more in regards to this. So, like it says, we help our clients navigate the complexities of buying, selling, and swapping cryptocurrencies with a 24/7 personal broker service. And basically, this is their site, Caleb and Brown. What I'm gonna do here is I want to show you this. Cypress Domanicore, right? Who, let's face it, I mean, a lot of us became aware of his content because of what he put out in regards to Cypherium. But he's a great content creator, right? He does a lot for Casper, you name it, a whole bunch of projects. He states, if you're a Casper holder, you need a solid cold storage solution, or you are looking for a sound place to buy and sell Casper, he will be utilizing Caleb and Brown. You can watch this interview with them. Always generate your own bias, right? So I just thought I would bring this to your attention, and I have fast forwarded to the juicy stuff. So Cypress Domanicore does have this interview. I don't know how you land some of this stuff, but it's still pretty cool that he's active doing this. So listen to this guy from Caleb. Was it Caleb and Caleb and Brown? All right. So we're gonna play this. I'm gonna share this. Here we go. Right now.
In my personal opinion, it is crucial to avoid getting stuck with your crypto holdings on an exchange that has crypto withdrawal limits during a bull run. Imagine having a portfolio, for example, worth $1 million United States dollars, and the exchange that you're utilizing imposes a daily withdrawal limit of only 10,000 US dollars, for example. Well, in such a scenario, it would take, 100 days to liquidate your entire portfolio and transfer it to another platform or wallet? That's literally insane. So, Billy, if you wouldn't mind just kind of going over real fast your withdrawal limits and kind of talk about that aspect of Caleb and Brown real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So withdrawal limits is an easy one because we don't have any. So people are not limited to do anything with Caleb and Brown. We do have a minimum limit. So when it comes to trading and whatnot, we generally work with a minimum investment amount of $500 per asset. Just because of the nature of our service. I mean, when it comes to handling $10 transactions, $5 transactions, that's not something we do, but we have very much the service that gives people the flexibility of moving hundreds and thousands, if not millions of dollars a day if they need to. And that's pretty much, one of the things that was the idea for Caleb and Brown in the first place. I mean, You know, many of the people that started this company, people like myself and yourself, Cypress, you know, just enthusiastic crypto investors who saw the problem with exchanges, you know, limitations, not being able to send coins from one wallet to another, having to wait, delays, limits on, you know, $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day, whatever the limit is, it just doesn't work. When you're a serious investor and you need to move funds and you want to get done what you need to get done, the last thing you want to have to do is click a few buttons every day for the rest of your life before you can withdraw your gains that you've made over the course of the bull run. So there are no limits with Caleb and Brown.
Absolutely. Good answer, man. I really do appreciate that. Yeah. So another thing too, you said serious investors. Okay. Now I'll capitalize on that real fast because something that a lot of people don't really understand about these centralized exchanges that they're utilizing is that the majority of them, and I've proven some of these exchanges in the past, you can simply prove this yourself by just reaching out to their customer support team. Examples include Coinbase, MEXC, Uphold, things of the nature, and just simply ask them, do they provide access to institutional liquidity pools? Now, again, understanding that when choosing a broker or crypto exchange with access to multiple institutional liquidity providers is extremely crucial to your long-term survival in this market space. And again, my personal opinion. Now, why? Because it offers benefits such as deep market liquidity, efficient trade execution, and reduced slippage during a bull and bear market. Now, one of the main reasons that I choose Caleb and Brown is because they have aggregate liquidity across OTC market makers, if I'm not mistaken, right, Billy? And then also they pull from centralized and decentralized exchanges, which means that they can handle increased trading volumes. So what this ensures is a smooth operation and uninterrupted, that's a big word, access to funds, okay? So having multiple liquidity sources enhances security, longevity, protecting users in times of crisis or major liquidation events, for example, FTX or Terra Luna that we all experienced in 2022, and platforms without access to institutional liquidity pools that have experienced liquidity issues. And I'm just going to share my screen with you all real fast and give you all an updated kind of ongoing event that a lot of people are seeing in this market. So check this out real fast. This is a fundamental that came out from decrypt.com. And it goes on to talk about Pepe holders turning $250 into 1 million in 4 days. But then it goes on to say, can they sell it? And it talks about liquidity issues could prevent them from realizing that profit. Now, again, I don't want to see any of my followers ever experience something like that in the market. So having backup options or having options to brokers that provide access to institutional liquidity, Caleb and Brown being one of those options, is an effective source to utilize during the next bull run or even to protect yourself in case of another major liquidation event or exchange or crypto project going bust. So real quick for Billy, I have a question, kind of a two-part question. Can you share any experience of examples of having multiple liquidity providers and how it's benefited Caleb and Brown and the users? And then kind of the second part of that is like, what measures do you all have in place to protect user funds in the event of major liquidation events, for example, the Terra Luna collapse or the FTX collapse that we saw last year?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's liquidity is one of those things that as an everyday crypto investor, you don't really think about it. You don't really, you know, you hear the word thrown around here and there, but nobody really knows what it means. And it's very much the situation that if you're dealing with a centralized exchange, they operate off one single liquidity pool. As a brokerage, we leverage multiple different pools, OTC providers, things that the institutions are tapping directly into to get not only the best available price on any asset at any given time when a trade is requested, but also to be able to sufficiently fill these larger orders that we deal with where, you know, it's going to slip the market if you do it on a single exchange that only has a very limited amount of liquidity for one asset. So that's something that is beneficial in multiple ways. You know, you might have an exchange where one asset is listed and then there's a trading halt and you can't do anything with it. You can't even withdraw it. You know, if one of our liquidity providers has problems with one of the assets we support, no problem. We just move to the next one because our investors are never locked out of being able to access their funds or being able to trade them. So I think like one really good example of that is not actually too long ago when we had the Silicon Valley Bank situation where USDC depegged down to like 88 cents. And, you know, it ended up being okay, and USDC regained its peg and all was well. But at the time, nobody knew what was going to happen. And we saw exactly this situation. I mean, we're talking some of the biggest exchanges in the world, some of the most reputable exchanges in the world, like Coinbase, for example, they stopped trading USDC. They said nobody's able to redeem USDC anymore for cash, or they can't trade it into other stable coins. We were one of the only businesses at the time where people could actually say, you know what, I need to get rid of my USDC. And we've got multiple avenues to be able to do that. So we would go to all of our providers, figure out who was being able to do it, who couldn't do it, and we were getting people out. There were so many people, so many investors of ours, and people that weren't even clients that we had to, you know, onboard and verify within the day to try and get them safe and try and get them out of USDC, because that's what people wanted. We were able to do that day with such, you know, it was volatile, it was crazy. It was a Saturday on this end. I was out at a birthday party. I had to come into the office and make sure everything was okay. So that's a perfect example of, you know, when we have these major events and they happen all the time in crypto, unfortunately, the space is still so young. We still see them happening all the time. You want to know that you have an option in your arsenal that you can say, okay, there's a trading halt here. There's something going on here. Wait a minute. I've got Caleb and Brown. They've got it sorted.
All right, so that's the whole thing in regards to, you know, Caleb and Brown. Kind of went a little bit more detailed about it, but why not? All right, gonna read a couple more comments. Mr. Muff states, hold on a second, let me pull up some banners again. All right, Mr. Muff says, Brethren Maximus, leverage some. Write it up. I actually tried to do that with Mex C and it wouldn't let me do it. I kid you not. And then I could have done with KuCoin, but only let me do it to 20x. And I was like, I wanted to actually just try it go all out. I will do it at some point, and I'll let you know. But it might not happen like tonight. Anyway, Brett Haslam, not to be confused with longtime NBA veteran and the oldest person currently in the NBA, Udonis Haslam of the Miami Heat. Oh, poop. I'm not welding today. I missed the live event. I'm 2.5 hours late. I'll start again. Oh, my gosh. Elon Muff says, my biggest wins have always been leveraged ones. I get out of the hole and then they go up. You've been killing on that, man. That's awesome. Everybody's asking Brett if he welds. Yeah, buddy. I weld aluminum gates and fencing and install and automate them also. That's awesome. Little known fact, my grandma during World War II, she helped build some destroyers and stuff like that in the port of Portland. And she actually led up a crew of people, women, guys, I guess also, and taught them how to weld. Another little known fact is my dad learned how to weld from my grandma. I'm sure you guys probably seen this picture 1,000 times by now. Hold on a second. See if I can pull this up. I wish I could pull it up. I don't have it. I gotta find it. Anyway, it's the one where it's like, you know, the woman's like, she's flexing. Let me try to type that in. Aha, I found it. Yes. There we go. Let me copy the image address. This one. That totally like reminds me of my grandma when she was young. That was basically her in a nutshell, you know, doing stuff like that, teaching people how to weld and whatnot. So anyway, she passed away a long time ago, back in 2 days after Christmas of 1993. Passed away of terminal cancer, pancreatic cancer. And then my grandfather passed away like 4 months later from prostate cancer. He also helped in that regard. Towards the war effort. He was too old for World War II and too young for World War One. Anyway. All right, let's read a few more comments, and then I think we might have just a tad bit left. Yeah. All right. Craig Connor says, I wonder if my trigger order for PayPay. Oh, okay. Sammy from Alabama, welcome. I see big pumps up for Polygon and Jasmy. I see that too. Craig Connor, if you use high leverage, you are not in at the bottom. You will get liquidated. Craig Connor, yeah, that's what Elon Musk has pointed out to me. You got to know what bottom is. If you don't, you're going to get wrecked. Craig Connor, my grandmother was a welder in World War II, building ships. Right on. Cool stuff, man. All right. Let me use that as a bookmark. We're going to get to the next part of what we have. I think I got a message from somebody. A voice message. Interesting. From HTN. Well, if she's watching right now, HTN, I'll get into that in just a bit. All right. So it's Algorand. Let's get into this. Yeah, we normally don't have coverage for Algorand. Let's get into some of the coverage what we have. So this comes from the Algorand Foundation. It says, what really is amazing is that some of these brilliant builders have been able, what they have been able to achieve. CoinDesk chats with EVP of Ecosystem Growth, which is Mint WT, to get insight on ownership, the dev experience, real-world applications, and more. Of course, there's an article about it. And what I'm going to show you guys here, this comes from CoinDesk. It says accelerating real-world use cases on the Algorand blockchain. I'm not going to read all of this because, if anything, I'm probably sure you guys are getting tired of me reading articles. Wish I had more videos to share with you guys tonight, but unfortunately, I don't. But yeah, accelerating real-world use cases on the Algorand blockchain. So this lady, her name is Min Wei, and she states that she was working in crypto since 2018 when her company co-founded and was acquired by blockchain.com. She said one of the benefits of working at blockchain.com was that it was a platform that she was able to interact on. They worked with a ton of different layer ones and so on. She said at the time, blockchain.com was one of the early platforms to support algo. And so, she was introduced to the project and the team. The role and the vision was to be an organization, I guess you could say Algorand appealed to her. She liked the idea of growing through the Algorand ecosystem. But one of the key things I want to show you guys here is this right here, CoinDesk. When they ask her, he says, this person, I should say, of CoinDesk, he says, I feel like it's still early. Is a rallying cry for crypto, but it definitely is true for Algorand, especially when compared to other blockchains like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, just listen to this for a second. But it seems that Algorand has made up for this by creating an incredible, inclusive developer environment. How are you creating an experience for developers to make an early jump versus picking a less early blockchain? Because in reality, when it comes to all these projects, there's so much competition. And, yes, I'm a firm believer of Algorand. I hold Algo, right? But this is a great question. So her response was, we are building a blockchain that feels slick to use. Whether it's the average person sending money to a loved one, a user interacting with a financial product, or a developer building an app, they want everyone to have a seamless experience interacting with the Algorand blockchain. It's all about the UX. We recently released Algo Kit, which is all about giving developers the tools they need, allowing them to set up a dev environment on Algorand in less than 10 minutes. And let's face it, that's pretty darn impressive. So they can focus their time on what matters, building cool products, right? And Algorand for me stands out as one of these projects, kind of similar to like, for instance, I shouldn't say like Cardano because I think it's I think it's a more impressive project than Cardano. But I also say like, for instance, like with Stellar, when it comes to Stellar, Cardano, Algorand, right? They do take their time on what to build. But again, if you have a platform in which you can build, I guess you could say, an ecosystem, and basically do it in less than 10 minutes or like have a start point, that is very appealing to devs to come over to the platform. It says, it sounds so intuitive, but very deliberate. We want to make it easier for developers to get right to building. At the end of the day, we always talk about building out a blockchain or building out an ecosystem. If you have the right tools in place to make that happen, that's crucial. I mean, even with Algorand, all they need is like a few good projects built on their ecosystem to have like a star player to, shine, right? I like this statement. They have some pretty neat templates and integrations that they're looking to launch later this year, and will make it even better and faster for devs to build on Algo. Will devs truly come to Algo to build? Or is it just like a really nice, unique back and forth conversation between this person from CoinDesk and Min Wei? Well, look what's mentioned also here. It says your approach to Algorand seems to really be giving these entrepreneurs what they need and is getting some exciting results. This again is one of the main reasons why I want to share this with you guys. So this lady, Min Wei, she says, yes, learning a new language is always the main barrier for developers. It is. I mean, even myself in the past, I did not have the patience to learn C++. I didn't have the patience to learn C# and so on. In the future, I would like to find something in which I don't have to just go crazy and maybe learn a particular coding language, possibly. But my expertise has always been the type of person to, be more like a director, producer, that type of person to bring the talents in and develop what needs to get done. So maybe I don't ever learn coding, but for me personally, I wouldn't mind learning like some blockchain, the basics of blockchain, whether it's at community college and so on. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, I'm kind of tired of going to school. Because for me personally, it's just like I doubled up on all my classes. I finished in under 3.5 years for 4 degrees, got up to my master's and so on. And while that's a good accomplishment, doesn't necessarily mean I want to just jump right back into the sack of put myself more into student loan debt, you name it, right? But if there can be things and solutions to help not only myself, but like for instance, what's mentioned here, develop a developer community where they can be, like it says here, passionate about what they are building. That in itself is impressive and built on Algorand. Why wouldn't she want to pay more attention to this? So she points out that one of her favorite projects right now is TravelX, and I'm going to show you guys that for just a brief moment, but it states that this is a platform that tokenizes airline tickets and brings them on chain. What's so disruptive about this is, that we, as a consumer, own the actual ticket. We can change the information on it, can send the ticket to others, and even sell it. This changes the ownership principles of how airline tickets work. So that should catch your attention, right? At least it did for me. So let's introduce this to you for just a brief moment. And it's basically this right here. This comes from the Algorand Foundation. It says tokenizing airline seats. Have you ever thought about this for a moment? Just hear me out. The biggest NFT utility case yet? Great question, right? It says it's 2023 and days before your Bondi flight to Buenos Aires, except your mother just got sick and now you need to stay home in Cordoba to take care of her, right? I mean, crappy situation, but a lot of people have had to do this. You're fine about missing the work conference, but you're disappointed not to spend a few nights in Buenos Aires. Unfortunately, your flight ticket is an NFT. Just hear me out on this. This is some good stuff. So you can easily swap in your colleague's name or sell it on a secondary marketplace. It can't be that straightforward, can it? Or can it? It already is with one airline, and our predictions say it won't be long before others follow suit. The reason why I also want to show this to you is because we're always talking about, when does crypto go mainstream? This is a perfect example of this. If we're going to talk about, for instance, Nexera with, it has a bunch of different use cases, right? But one thing that's always been very appealing to me is Nexera's, the Nexera ID, right? The whole concept of, like, in the future, you could have, a utility NFT in a form of a passport, right? Now we're talking about, for instance, airline tickets. So hours of waiting on hold to reach customer service, confusing refund policies, and jumping through hoops to get ticket details amended are set to become a thing of the past, hopefully, right? Thank God, because that's annoying. Thanks to blockchain technology, and perhaps the biggest use case in utility NFTs. Picture this, right? Literally picture this. Every seat on an airplane is tokenized. Your plane ticket is an NFT governed by a smart contract that enables secure, flexible, and efficient ticket distribution. It's basically easier to manage, sell, and transfer your ticket, more than you ever did before. This is precisely what TravelX is looking to achieve through its NF tickets technology built on Algorand. That's original in itself. I mean, a lot of times, just because we don't see something that has already been built, doesn't mean it's not original. And some people might say, well, like, how come this never happened before? That's a good question itself, but the whole thing is it's being built on Algorand. So it says, for the traveler, acknowledges that sometimes life can be unpredictable and plans need to change. For airlines, it reduces customer service costs and offers a percentage of ticket sales on the secondary market. How many times have you, I don't know if you're the type of guy that's traveled a lot, right? Or even, booked a hotel reservation. You know how many times they told you, for instance, like, you got until, 4 p.m. hotel time to cancel the reservation, or they'll tell you something if you're like, you're booking last minute, it's too late to cancel. You know how many times they tell you that, and then your plans change, you have to eat that, right? The same can be applied towards the airline industry. This is a game changer as far as I'm concerned. The NFT is set to, is still yet to have its moment, right? Because of what's represented with in the form of JPEGs. They address that, right? So it says the JPEG summer of mid-2021 saw floor prices of Bored Ape Yachts Club, let's face it, hit exorbitant, I'm not saying that right, but highs, and unheard of digital artists were capitulated, I should say, to fame for catapulted, gosh, I get it wrong tonight, to fame for tokenizing their work on the blockchain. Celebrities, brands, and companies across industries dropped token collections in droves as momentum and excitement continued into 2022. This was a flash in the pan for the nascent NFT before crypto Twitter started demanding when utility. And we only got a brief, little bit of some of these utility ones, hence why we do talk about, for instance, Nexera ID and some of these other ones, not necessarily NFTs, but I mean, and NFT-esque, right? Like we saw Leo X, right? The tokenization of another form of a ticket, not an airline ticket, but the tokenization of movie tickets and concert tickets, right? Those are real world NFT or utility-based NFTs, right? So here's another one. So it says, called for the utility forced the NFT to prove its value and gave the way to the rise of event admission tickets, membership to private clubs, gaming tokens, and digital wearables, all being recorded on the blockchain. Now, I want to state this because I don't want to put a whole ton of emphasis into this. You kind of get the gist of why this is important. But the other key thing is understanding that when we talk about being so early, like I mentioned here before, we are so early. Another thing that we're very, very, very early on is the concept of utility-based NFTs. And one of the things I want people to understand is, there's a significance for that. If we're always going to be like raw, gung-ho, not that we're just early about things, but to recognize that, for instance, like it says, when utility and when mass adoption, that's the whole thing. When mass adoption for crypto, right? But if you have something, an actual tool, right, as an NFT that has that utility, I think that is the pathway forward for more of that mass adoption. Which key blockchains, if you will be part of that mass adoption? Well, you have to have something that actually will be used by the masses. And last I checked, a lot of people still fly, right? I mean, it's still the safest form of transportation, whether people want to agree with that or not. Just looking at the stats. I'm going to read this last part in regards to this. Algorand supplies the foundation for this advanced ticketing technology and secondary ticket marketplace. It was a blockchain of choice for TravelX due to its security, sustainability, and reliability. The chain's sub-penny transaction fees, no doubt, sweeten the deal, right? So, I mean, like, are you rethinking Ethereum is going to have something like this? Not really. It's going to be counterintuitive to get hit with such a big gas fee to travel, right? Which sounds ironic in itself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get charged a gas fee? What is this, a joke? Yeah. So TravelX joins the ranks of vibrant NFT projects building on Algorand, including Rand Gallery, Algo X NFT, Algo Gems, Shuffle, and Exa Market. So you could take more of your own look into this if you choose to do so. But, you know, like it says, over 60 airlines worldwide are in conversations. Listen to this. That's a lot, right? That's not just like, oh, there's United, oh, there's Delta, Alaskan, right? No, it's 60 airlines worldwide that are in conversations with TravelX, excuse me, to explore the adoption of NFT tickets with blockchain technology benefiting both company and consumer. Flybondi's Web3 debut is just the beginning for the airline industry. The tokenization of airline tickets could shake up the airline industry, I would agree, and provide unparalleled flexibility for travelers like never before. So, you know, there's one thing, how do I explain this? Like, we a lot of times put so much focus on, you know, we need to get regulatory framework, and before we can have the regulatory clarity of the, you know, institutional money coming in, basically from the payment side of the things. But in my opinion, I don't even know if there's anybody listening at this point anymore. I don't care. It's okay. But my point is this. Are we looking at the wrong areas? Are we putting too much emphasis in the wrong areas? Now, hear me out on this. If we're all excited about, like, the institutional money coming in and so on, there's a lot of barriers, as we know, to get this going, right? The barriers are what? Especially here in the United States, it's Congress and so on, right? Some of these guys, I hate to say, guys and girls got to pull their heads out of their butt to get things going. But if the key, the writing on the wall has always been and always will be to get the masses, the adoption, you know, to actually get people who don't even understand crypto or don't even understand NFTs on board with something that's going to benefit, like it says, you know, both the company and consumer, then they don't need to know that it's tied into blockchain. They don't need to know that this is technically an NFT. All they need to know is that it's more sufficient. If the whole concept of payment rails being built on blockchain through distributed ledger technologies because it's faster, more efficient, more secure is a selling point, then you better believe that this is a selling point that gets an actual tool in the form of a utility-based NFT to the masses. But you don't see enough of this happening. That's my gripe. I'm sure that's some of your guys' gripe too. And my thing is, I want to see more of these types of concepts flourish. Will Algorand be the first, if you will, to start seeing more of that mass adoption? And what could that mean for you, let's face it, as an Algorand holder? So anyway, I probably should have put this more towards the top of the queue for the coverage tonight, but I didn't. But nonetheless, glad to bring it to you guys. All right. Let's see where we're at on the comments. Crypto Jedi says, good night, Max. I have to sleep. Yeah, that's all right. You got work tomorrow. Take it easy, man. Thanks for joining us. My wife's grandmother worked in a munitions factory. Interesting. They had free shipping to Europe. Cool, man. Elon Musk says he's here. You got to go for the minute. No problem. Thank you for the 99-cent super chat. Looks like you have some more. Thank you so much, man. Oh, you guys, another 99-cent super chat. Algo, fire. Thank you. Another 99-cent super chat. Thank you, Mike Cornwell, Mr. Elon Muff. You rock. Wow. I guess you guys appreciated the algo covers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Elon Muff. All right. Let me see where we're at. I might just be about wrapping things up. Good night. Thanks again, Max. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us again, Mr. Menace. I do appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. I think we're almost done with this. But I just thought the algo segment, I mean, I don't know. I probably should have put that towards like the front of the queue, but I didn't. Yeah, there's this other deep dive in regards to algo. Can it outpace Ethereum? I'll probably say that for like maybe Monday. And then, of course, there's this thing about BSV. I'll probably say that for Monday as well. Because we're about at the 3-hour mark, and I just don't want to burn people out. I mean, this technically went another hour over the time I should have gone. So I believe that's it. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I do appreciate you. And immediately after the show, I mean, you can watch it. You don't have to watch it now. You can watch it tomorrow or whatever. It's in regards to Stellar. I'll do another deep dive for Quant, Jasmy, maybe later tonight. You'll see it premiere tomorrow or over the weekend. But you guys all have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us here for some Crypto Talk Now. Larry will be back with you guys on the weekend. I don't know if it's, let's face it, he's got some problems with his either internet or so on. I will try to I'll try to set up something which I will try to troubleshoot long before the show if he has time to get stuff maybe possibly fixed for him, but it's no guarantees. And yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Look out for the Stellar video to be released here like literally soon, right after this. I have to click one button, but the Jasmy video is going to be huge. You're going to see some things that are going to be confirmed, and I think it's going to be a win for the community. So there you go. Just one person. I am short $30. Mr. Elon Muff, you want to get with Mr. Craig Connor in regards to that? I don't know. Anybody? Craig, do you have a Twitter? You guys can message each other. You can follow Mr. Craig Connor. Or Craig Connor. Elon Muff, I should say. Where are we at? Let me share this real quick. He is right here. There. At MICHEAL Cornwell. And go from there. All right, guys. Let's see here. What I'm gonna state is we will see you. I will see you guys back on Monday, but Larry will be here on the weekend. Thanks again. Okay, I'll keep you a bit longer and appreciate you guys. Thank you again. Have a great night, everybody.